Hey, welcome everyone to the Sketch Zone podcast. I'm Carlos Gomez. This week, welcome to episode 140.
Bam!
140, and we're going to be talking to someone that I've been artistically fanning over, geeking out on for a few years now. That, my friends, is Anthony Coffey.
Hello.
Welcome to the show.
Thank you.
We have Charlie B. Williams III.
Hey, everyone. What's up? I'm glad to be here. Glad to be back. I'm here. Let's go.
Excellente. And that's Jack. That's Jack Kasperzak.
That is me. Every time, I don't know if there's any Westworld watchers out there, but you always say Excellente, and it just reminds me. They're like in the town of Escalante.
I want to go back. I've been watching this season, but I don't know if it's because I've been working a lot lately, or it's just that the season is confusing. But have you guys been watching it?
I know nothing about it.
I've wanted to, but I have not started. I hear good things.
Did you watch the first season yet, Anthony?
No. I watched maybe like a part of the first episode, but I didn't end up watching yet.
The first season I really liked.
Yeah, the first season's pretty good. I've got some reservations, but overall I think it's pretty good.
Yeah.
Second season things. I just need to put everything away and focus. I think is the problem.
Are you trying to do it while you're working?
Are you watching? Are you working?
Yeah, you can't do that.
Yeah, it's not one of those listen and catch out of the side of your eye type of shows. Definitely not.
It's not. You have to put it down and focus.
Yeah.
Speaking of focusing, if you are listening to this show live, go ahead and use the chat panel. But if you are catching us later and want to leave us messages, go ahead and use That's right, folks. The Sketch Zone hotline. That's 408-753-8248. 408-SKETCH-8. Operators are standing by. Hey, if you're calling internationally, please use 011-408-753-8248. So now that that's done, let's go ahead and jump in on the...
You want to get right in on it.
Let's go over to the canvas here and let's get started. I believe every day's a good day when you paint.
Anthony's like, what the hell is going on the show? They got song and music and what's up?
Keep up.
I thought I came here to talk about illustration.
Right.
So Anthony, do you agree? Is every day a good day when you paint?
I would have to agree. Yes.
So we got a couple fun prompts to get through. So we're gonna flip past these relatively quick. But
so where do you get these prompts?
Funny you should ask.
Oh.
I have a. We've been trying.
Yo, spit it out, legit.
I know.
It's like you
I get nervous.
You act like you stole something.
I get nervous when I start geeking out.
It's like I just busted you on something.
Yeah, just spit it out. You act like you stole something.
He's malfunctioning.
See what happened? What
happened?
Malfunctioning.
Totally legal.
No, so we've been trying to figure out different ways, and so far so good with the Steven Silver random drawing app.
Yeah,
we had him, and it worked out because we had him on the show probably about 4 weeks ago.
Nice.
And so when we pulled up his app, he was all happy and proud of himself and stuff. Like, hell yeah, dude.
All right.
So anyway, a couple weeks ago, we had Tumbling Oyster Doorman.
Tumbling Oyster Doorman. Okay.
And feel free to give some quality critiques there, young Anthony.
Okay.
Young Anthony.
That's the first one. No, just kidding. We have
Kanye.
We have Kanye. No, Con Kane. I thought this one was clever with the whole.
I will say that's quite clever with the tumbling.
Very interesting style, little watercolory.
Yeah, is that traditional? I guess.
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah.
Nice.
Watercolor.
Nowadays it's hard to tell.
Yeah, I know, right? Yours truly with the
nice.
Tumbling.
Cartwheel.
Nice.
We have
literal doorman.
Literally
a doorman.
That reminds me of the old plush when we were kids, the plush little, I don't remember the name of it, but I just remember a plush windowsill. It had eyes, it was white, it was literally a square windowsill.
I remember that.
I'm gonna have to find this.
What is that? I vaguely remember something like that.
All right, let's see who's next. Oh, Maestro, please. Shiloh.
Oh yeah, always great.
Can we take a minute to just every week I have to gush over Shiloh because he's amazing.
Yeah, I love his stuff.
He's all right. He could.
That is. Keep him humble. Right.
Yeah. That's right.
He left his construction lines in this week. You see that?
Nice.
For the record, if once we do get Shiloh, if he's not on the chat already. But once we get Shiloh on the show, you think I'm stumbling over my words now?
Yeah. It's funny he hasn't been on yet. He's he's a regular every week.
Yeah, you haven't had him on one of the shows?
We've tried. He says that he's camera shy.
He says he's shy.
Too high caliber.
He probably listens to it right now. Oh my gosh. No.
Yeah. He'll probably be on. He usually.
He said he keep a picture.
He's usually
image off. Turn off the camera. We just have him show a picture.
Yeah, just do audio.
We've been talking about getting together and doing like a drawing party, I guess.
Yeah.
He's down for that. We just have to plan it properly.
I'm assuming he lives in the area. For you?
No. He lives in Australia.
Oh, so you're just talking
online
Google Hangout drawing. Okay.
Yeah.
Show your screen type of.
Nice. Yeah. I thought you were talking like one of those drinking draws.
Yeah.
Nice.
Carlos, actually, Jack and I went to a drink and draw, and Schlong Lord was there.
Excuse me, the Schlong Lord, yeah.
What? Yeah.
Excuse me.
Yeah. So if you want to see some entertaining penises, go see Schlong Lord on Instagram.
Okay.
It's pretty funny actually.
He's got 10,000 followers, and all he does is draw wieners.
Wow.
It's incredible.
And that's his name on Instagram.
Schlong Lord.
Schlong Lord.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. We met him because we got invited by Ombre McStees to go hang out, and we met Schlong Lord. Anyway, let's get back to Abe Witz. Now that we're going down an incredibly
that's a niche market right there.
I really like this one. The point of view, I think, on this one is super clever, super well done.
I like the clever caption, oyster. Nice.
Ah.
Oh, I didn't even see that.
I didn't either.
Another literal door.
Candors.
Watch it, pal.
Mine.
Door man. All right, nice.
The door doesn't get up and get in a fight.
Thinking outside the box.
That's what that expression looks like.
Dean McTaggart.
Nice.
Well played. Got a little pearl in there. Someone's got a girlfriend.
Dark.
Oh, did he trip over the purse?
All right. So now this one was actually really cool too. A heartbroken buffalo waitress vacuuming.
Well, that's a long one. All right.
Yeah. You'll see what we're. So this is again Shiloh.
God, leave it to Shiloh.
He's nothing but fire.
Yeah.
He's gonna have a book off of these front prompts.
You invite Shiloh to do like a hangman game where you pick the letters, and I bet you that hangman is beautiful.
Right.
I'd pick the wrong letters just to see him draw.
Kill that man.
Make him work for it.
This one was mine. Flo was ready for her big break, but she misread the sign. She could have sworn it said Buffalo Sings. It's a karaoke thing.
She's stanky.
She is. She's got
flies.
She's got flies. Hey, do flies come with those wings?
But
I can't even give you the crickets for that.
Bad art corner coming in. Come on, Shelly.
Very nice.
It's been 5 months. You're starting to collect dust.
Get it together, Shelly.
Yeah, you got your whole life in front of you.
Another cow. Okay, this is another traditional piece.
Is that a blue maple leaf or something?
Yeah.
Yeah. Is that a sports team I don't know about?
The sports, yeah, it's got to be.
Yeah, the Toronto Maple
Leafs. Buffaloes.
That's
the Buffaloes.
Buffaloes.
I don't follow sports.
Bills, like the Buffalo Bills.
Wait a minute.
Oh, Bill!
Breaking hearts.
Oh, yeah. Pele.
Yo, that cow looks like a thought.
Yeah, buddy.
Look at
the mouse. Look at the mouse trying to mind his own business.
The mouse is like, man, I'm just trying to vacuum. Get out of here.
Can you move your tail?
All this drama.
Emily's Doodles.
This is another one. Look at that zebra.
Yeah, this is very cool.
I like the least one.
Has an attitude. Look at that. Man, if you guys knew Spanish, I have a really good zebra joke for you.
It doesn't work in English?
No.
Okay.
It's super lost in translation.
Gotcha.
Yeah, this is really well done.
I like the lighting on that one.
They went in on this one. Who is this?
Dean McTaggart again.
Very nice.
Well played, Dean. This is another really good one.
Oh, I missed this.
Artist Gunja.
Like the colors on that one.
Yeah, well played. Well played. This one's super cute. This one again.
I like that.
This one's cool.
Yeah,
I believe.
I like that style.
Let me see what the
Who
name
is this?
Lottie Wagner. Yeah,
good old
I believe she submitted before, and her stuff always looks like it's ready for a postcard or a greeting card or something.
Yeah.
So tight, so well done.
Or a newspaper. Old school.
Very
vacuum those hearts, sweet thing. Poor baby.
And look at the red shoes. That's my favorite.
Yeah.
Nice.
Oh, I know this guy. Sketchbook Jack.
Oh.
Listen up, chowder head. And the doormat says, to the tumbler for you. I like that.
That's very cool.
Well played, Jack. Well played. So that's it, kids. That's the fun prompt. So now, this is a character investigation. We need to see if you're a glutton for punishment.
Ah.
So the way that it works is here's the Steven Silver random app.
Oh, okay.
Random drawing app. Usually what we do is so you lock down the ones that you don't necessarily want, and then you unlock the ones that you want.
Mm-hmm.
So then the question is, do you want it to be a hard drawing or somewhat easy drawing?
Because it adds more stuff to the.
Yeah, I wouldn't go more than 3, because then you start stretching the concept.
Okay, so let's say we're gonna keep character, outfit, and action, and do one expression, 2 expressions.
I would do 1 expression, because then you might be mixing emotions.
Okay, so let's see. We're gonna shuffle, and we're gonna have a toad bank teller playing hula hoop, and an uplifted bank teller An uplifted toad that's a bank teller playing hula hoop.
Okay.
Wait, what?
Say it one more time.
Character is a toad. Outfit is a bank teller.
Uh-huh.
The action is playing hula hoop.
Okay.
And expression is uplifted.
Okay.
I don't exactly know what uplifted.
That's an interesting emotion. Yeah.
Let's see. I'm gonna Google uplifted past tense. Uplifted.
It's like it's been encouraged.
Yeah, that's what I'm gonna go with.
Enlightened, excited, happy.
It's encouraged. It's happy. So it should be smiling, eyes closed.
I was thinking maybe that bank teller smoked a joint.
Or that.
And
Okay.
not here right now. You know what I mean?
So it's an uplifted toad bank teller doing the hula hoop.
Doing the hula hoop.
Yep.
There it is.
So there.
That should be interesting.
Let's go to the canvas here and let's get started. I believe every day's a good day when you paint.
That's how we do that.
There it is.
So hey, what's going on, yo?
What's up?
Anything fun happening in the world of art and or technology?
Sketchbook is free now.
Wait, what?
Yeah.
Yes, sir.
That's the biggest one.
I'm drawing on it right now. Except for they already have my money for the year.
Yeah. Got you. Got him.
Me too.
So
They waited specifically.
It always happens to me.
Released Sketchbook Pro for free now.
Hmm.
I think they conceded.
Have you used it? Have you used Sketchbook?
I used to use it. I actually used it heavily during Barona when we were doing Barona's War, the series with me and Jesse. I haven't used it since. I ended up. I think the main reason I used it is I liked a lot of because the Photoshop wiggle that they used to get a lot. I used it because it didn't have that, but Photoshop fixed that, and I think I found some brushes I liked, and then I actually started playing around with Clip Studio Paint, which is formerly Manga Studio. Yeah. So and I fell in love with that one, at least the G Pen, the inking aspect.
Yeah.
So that's my new go-to.
And they got up to version 8 before they said, "Here, you can have it for free," and they gave them reason, but.
Well, I'm sure they came up with some pretty awesome new additions and updates for that. I just, stopped following.
Yeah, I definitely say download it. Download it now.
It's
free, right?
Definitely
give it another shot.
We'll put the link in the show notes.
They've done a really good job with it too, and now you can create your own brushes. You can import brushes.
Yeah.
Nice.
Yeah,
I downloaded and looked at it the other night. I'm going to download it at work also because that's what my little Intuos is. But you know what I also liked about it, guys, is on their website. I liked the little community they had on the website. Did you guys go over to the? If you click over the community, they had a bunch of tutorials. They had some really cool video interview type of things with set the music in the background, whatever.
Yeah,
they weren't short. They weren't like 2-3 minutes. They were like a couple of 12, 15 minutes long.
They got some longer ones too. Because like Brett Bean, he's done a tutorial / conversation thing.
And the tutorials are pretty good too. They had a lot of tutorials on it too.
Yeah,
so there was a couple fundamental blog posts they had talking about what differences between digital art and traditional just some really good they hired people to write some articles about it to kind of liven up the space so I found myself clicking through those once I got the site and saw that they were they had a pretty good community page there with a bunch of different tutorials and articles and a lot of stuff to look at. I didn't even get through all the tutorials. But there's a couple of them. There's a couple they did the whole time lapse and the speed up paints and stuff like that too.
Yeah.
So it's cool.
Yeah.
Check it out.
Yeah.
I think go check out the site and
it's legit.
Yeah.
It's legit. Especially if you can't get the if you can't get Photoshop for $50 a month,
Yeah.
this is a solid. And you can even do text now too, and all their tools are legit.
Nice.
So
Yeah, I mean, it sounds like it's an amazing program for free. I'll definitely go check it out again. I love trying new programs, but I think I'm going to be a Photoshop junkie for life just because I've got a workflow that's just such a crutch now. It almost feels like I have to use it.
Yeah.
But it's just a comfortable thing.
Are you just doing your inking in Clip Studio?
In all honesty, it actually depends. Like the recent stuff I've been doing, I'll actually just do it straight in Photoshop, depending on the brush I'm using. But if I want a real clean, nice, solid line, I'll go to Clip Studio because I literally just use that one brush in Clip Studio, and then I'll ink it, then come and color it in Photoshop, just because I know Photoshop quick enough to just do what I need to get done.
And that's the thing about Sketchbook. Their ink tool is so crisp, so perfect.
Really nice.
And so I do a lot of the sketching in there, and then I'll ink in in Sketchbook, and then I export the PSD and then finish up in Photoshop. It's legit.
Yeah, that might be right there. That might be worth at least checking out because I used to always just pencil. I was never keen on the inking things in there, but maybe they got some new stuff going on.
Yeah, but it's just my luck because I've been paying for it for a couple of years now. I bought the legit copy back a few years ago, and then they changed it to subscription. So I just moved over to the subscription, and now it's free. And if you guys remember, Kyle Webster, who's been on the show, he had all his Photoshop brushes. I bought his mega pack, and then he gets hired by Adobe, and they're giving it away for free.
Got him.
Same here. I just went to his site today because I was just on Photoshop. I saw some ad for new brushes, and I was like, do people still download brushes? Because Photoshop has such amazing base brushes now. So I went to go get more brushes, and yes, it took me straight to Kyle T. Webster's section of the page. I was like, man, I bought all this stuff.
It sucks.
Yeah. But
good for him.
Yeah, we're supporting him, so.
Yeah.
Where did we get to this point?
Yeah.
So now you're waiting on whatever he's working on right now. So I'm assuming
now he doesn't return my emails, and no, I'm just kidding. I'm not trying.
I bet you he's working on something right now. I'm assuming you guys are going to be like a new pack that comes out. Watch, it's going to be called the expansion pack or something. They're going to charge you.
Oh,
and that's what's
behind it. You know, this is coming. You have to work on it for a year or something or whatever.
Right. They'll do it.
Well, no, he's actually employed by Adobe now.
That's what I'm saying.
Oh,
that's what I'm saying. Like there are gonna be some premium brushes.
In-app purchases.
Because now there's no competition, right? Because they're all free. Anything new with Adobe money that he's getting and Adobe resources that he's getting, they're gonna be even better and have even more insight to them because he's got a team probably helping him or behind her. He's there with everything he needs, and he's got programmers there that can even do crazy cool stuff with it.
Yeah,
you might get a mixing brush where you start mixing live paint.
They're working on that
stuff. You know what I'm saying?
They're working on that.
So he's gonna be like, "Yo, I need you to do 20 brushes, and we'll put those in the next version. But then I need another 20 for the premium download."
And every artist is gonna be like, I need that. I don't know what I'm gonna do with it, but I need it. It's like going into an art store. You walk out with something, no matter what.
You convince yourself of some goofy stuff.
All the creative directors and art directors and leads are gonna be like, "Yo, you need to add this because it's another add-on."
Yeah, lens flare.
Yeah, right. It's gonna be an add-on to the subscription. So next thing you know, you're gonna have your Photoshop, but then you're gonna have your expansion pack where you'll get 5 or 6 in a year. And there'll be like a pack of 10, so you'll get 60 of them in a year, but it'll prorate it over the whole year. So next thing you know, it's another $50 on your
Oh my god.
if you're in pro. Whoa, did I give him an idea? Sorry guys.
I was about to say.
You know what's
they push that model.
You know what's cool though? You know how Adobe has Photoshop Sketch and Illustrator Draw, whatever?
Mm-hmm.
And for the iPad, if you have an iPad, you can now import a lot of the Kyle Webster brushes and Photoshop brushes from your desktop computer into this app.
That's pretty cool. I have to say.
Mm.
Yeah, they're doing a good job. It's let me say it like that. They better do a good job because they bumped it up from $50 a month to $51.50 or something like that. So y'all better.
It's coming. That premium pack's coming.
Are they even able to challenge the market on mobile though? Because I know Procreate's pretty much a beast right now.
Yeah.
So what? Can you get the Sketchbook Pro on? Is that you pay for it on mobile?
Yeah,
Sketchbook Pro's on mobile too.
And it's just as good as it is.
Is it free?
It is now.
It better be.
It is now.
They say, you know what? This is how we're gonna beat Procreate. We're gonna saturate this market real quick with this free app.
Yeah, and that's the thing. Like, so the cool thing about the Adobe mobile apps is if you have a drawing in Photoshop Sketch, you can do share, open up in desktop app, and the iPad will send it to your iCloud, or not iCloud, but Adobe Creative Cloud, and then it'll send it back down to your desktop application and opens your desktop application.
Yo, see, I need to have a meeting with Adobe because I know how they can like get the market back. So with the Sketchbook,
they can buy Procreate. That's the shortcut.
That's what they're gonna do. You know it.
Like Adobe just waiting. Like, okay, cool. You're getting a little bit too big. Let's just
happen to Macromedia.
Here's $1 billion. Give me that app. and then the name Procreate goes away, and it's Adobe Sketch.
If you can't
afford to buy Procreate. But if they were smart though, since Autodesk is smart, they'll do one more update, and that update would be to link up with Adobe Creative Cloud
to call themselves Procreate. That's the final update.
No, I'm serious. Like, add that one functionality to it. It's free anyway, but like, if they're thinking of a backwards way of getting back in the market, then like, link up with Adobe, and say, I want to just put functionality in this free app of like being able to save to the cloud and back, whatever.
Yeah.
I don't know. I think that might be that'd be a cool out of the box way of trying to like. If it's free, if it's really nice, like you guys are saying it is, the mobile version, and you can do the same thing, doesn't really hurt Adobe, does it?
So what do you think the motivation is to go free?
They can't keep up with Procreate. It's not cost effective. Yeah.
But so do you think that means it's phasing out? Do you think
right?
Because
eventually, unless I think it's easier for them to keep it up. I think they'll keep it on their servers if they do see a concurrent, like a lot more downloads of it. But say like in a year, it's not moving the way they want it or whatever. I can see them phasing it out in 2 to 3 years. I mean, we've seen Autodesk do this before. I mean, that's what they did with like Softimage. Like when it wasn't good enough to keep up and do updates for it because they had all these other things. It's probably the least thing being used or bought out of their lineup.
So you think they're just shifting focus?
Yeah, that's what I think they do. Autodesk is known for that.
I'm sure it's definitely the least used out of their lineup. Obviously, Sketchbook is not their moneymaker. I mean, I don't think anybody thought it was, but I wondered for a minute if they're kind of using it as like an avenue to get you attached to the brand and then get on to other stuff. But I don't know how many people are going to Sketchbook and then being like, "Oh, I need me some 3D Max." I don't. Think
right.
Yeah, I don't think that's happening at all. I think I think they like. I don't know the origin. How did the origins come? You know this, Carlos? How did the origins come from Sketchbook? There's a reason why they made it, or was it
I think
the cool technologies they developed or something.
Because I remember when Sketchbook first came out. I can't remember the company
it was cool. It was before. Like,
when it came out, it was incredible. and it was a game changer because the brush engine was better than anything else that was on the market.
It was before all these, before
way before Procreate.
Procreate,
yeah.
It was like the predecessor to all these. Right?
And this is back when Photoshop's brushes were garbage.
Right? Yeah.
And then they remember it because then they hired what you call, they got what you call it, they use them, the two artists from Sucker Punch.
Those guys.
Monsters something.
Oh, Creature Box.
Creature Box. Yeah. Remember they got Creature Box, and that for a while that drove their like sales a lot because they started just drawing with it a bunch, and then they were like one of the main featured demo artists and stuff like that. I remember seeing them like SIGGRAPH and a couple other places, like doing demos, and they'd be like, "Oh, this is nice." And then when people would try it, they'd be like, "You see how easy this is to ink?" And like, and Creature Box was making some amazing stuff. I think they used to have video.
Let me tell you, for as nice as Photoshop is, Sketchbook, oh my God, there's
some really pretty.
It's super legit. It's super legit.
I love the colors.
And now, Anthony, I don't know if you know this, but you're a bit of an animator, so you'll probably like this.
Mm-hmm.
In Sketchbook, if you do new flipbook, you can do a frame by frame animation. It gives you the timeline.
Very nice.
You still have the brushes from Sketchbook.
Right. That's pretty cool.
You can work on your timing. It's probably, and Jack can attest to this, to me, it's the best 2D animation frame by frame software out there.
Well, yeah, it's the best. It's
better than what you call it?
It's the best for just doing like quick doodling, quick pencil tests. It's not good for editing the timeline and adjusting keyframes and like all that.
Yeah.
It does not come with bells and whistles. It's purely just there for you to do like some cool. I mean, I've used it a lot recently. I do like these. I've been doing these little like 2D effects of like for a project I'm working on, little like water splashes and like booms and effects and whatever, and it's perfect for that because you kind of just plow through it. It's really fast, frame by frame. I don't think it's definitely good for production, but it's definitely the best I've seen that just kind of stays out of your way and lets you.
So what is it like? Would you say concepting was it like an art director's tool to get his ideas out really quickly and show a test?
Or main keyframing or something?
You said flipbook, like you said flipbook then basically. Okay.
Yeah, I mean they call it a flipbook. I think that is kind of what it's for. It's for roughing concepts or for just kind of doodling. It's certainly not production final stuff. I mean, if you really wanted to work,
you can.
You could.
You can.
If you really wanted to work it, but it's it is definitely closer to working like old school traditional. Like it can be cumbersome once you try to expand large, but if you're just trying to do like a little flipbook, it's super fast and really nice.
Can you imagine somebody did that? Like, you know what? All I gotta do is copy and paste the background 150 times.
Yeah, and that's kind of what it is, right? There are some things in there where it's like, man, really, like copying and pasting is this cumbersome, but because of that lack of all of that extra stuff, it really is simple and stays out of your way just for like some nice doodling stuff.
Yeah,
right. Just get in there and do it.
There's a guy from Pixar, I think they had on one of those videos I'm talking about on the community side of the site, who's really into, I think it's Pixar. I'll get the name here in a second. But he was really into, like, back as a child, opening things up and seeing how they work and stuff like that. And some of the things he was, like, making in it were, like, little sketches of inner workings of things is what he liked to do and stuff like that. And he was talking about how he would, like, minimize, he uses all just the basic stuff, minimize all the other noise of the interface, because he said he's not even using like 90% of the bells and whistles that they give you, which is amazing.
Right.
But I only want the sketch in this, so he would hide everything else. So literally be like a white piece of paper and like just the brushes, and he only used one type of brush, and he would just go. So I thought that was really cool in terms of like being able to just like tone down the clutter and just get to what you want it to be, a couple colors, a couple couple swatches. And then I was looking through it the other night, when Carlos sent the link, and I was like, yo, they somehow struck a deal with Copic markers, because there's a whole, I found in the interface, there's a whole Copic drop down up, and it had all the numbers based off the number size. Where's my Copic set?
Oh, so they got the whole Copic palette, huh?
Yeah, they had a good amount of them, like the pastel palette. Oh, where's my Copic? I have to look to see what it was. But it was cool because it showed the numbers and stuff like that. I was gonna I have like a really cool baby blue one I like to use. Sometimes I was gonna say if they had that number in there, because I loved how it looked like it just showed the head of the marker with the little numbers and stuff. So it's like you can probably try to match. So say you were like a product designer, one guys who do like those car renders and stuff like that.
Yeah,
I can match the same colors you would like to use your 4 or 5 favorite Copics that you like to use.
That's pretty cool.
Match the same ones. And then blending looked pretty cool in it and stuff like that. I always get a kick out of the people's coloring with it, especially as I started looking for some of the old Creature Box guys stuff, because they were doing some really nice, vivid, like in-depth illustration with that tool. So it's great. It's free.
Yeah, I always remember seeing those videos that the Creature Box would do with Sketchbook. The draw-throughs of the time lapses of their work. It's pretty awesome.
Speaking of that, I haven't been to Creature Box website. We gotta try to reach out to them. I would geek out that night if we had them.
I was
for them. We get one of them. I don't care.
I was trying to get their attention when we were at CTN and security told me to sit down.
Oh.
Wait, what?
Excuse me, sir.
I'm gonna need you to calm down, sir.
Put your shirt back on, sir.
Yo. Your jokes are legit creepy today. The visual learners over here, you like giving weird flags. I just like Carlos in the back with his shirt off. Yeah, just totally out of place and inappropriate. With their names written on your chest or something.
As they're escorting me out the building, they're like, "I love you." I'm like, I'm a model. So let's talk about art and learning and stuff like that. Anthony, when did you figure out that you wanted to be an artist for a living?
I mean, it's gonna probably be one of those very stereotypical answers. I've been one of those that have drawn ever since. You know, I always knew I wanted to do something with art. I've always loved it. Even when I was small, I'm sure I didn't know what I wanted to be in art. I just know I wanted to be an artist. You know, it's like everybody would ask you, well, what is the thing? What do you want to be when you grow up? Well, you know, I would be an artist. You know, it's like, I don't know what that means, but I just want to be an artist.
Your mom was like, oh.
Yeah, well, my mom was just saying I didn't want to be a firefighter. There was a time I wanted to be a firefighter, and then she saw Backdraft, and then that was it. Yeah, that was it. You know, anything but a firefighter. So she was ecstatic when I said artist. So yeah, and then I always used to just draw. I mean, I would be coming home from. I'm an only child, so I literally had a lot of time on my hands. So I would always come home from school. I grew up watching the Disney Channel with the Goof Troop, DuckTales, the Darkwing Duck, all that. Transformers, G.I. Joe. I just sit down in front of the TV watching cartoons and drawing them. So I guess it was kind of a lot of that steered me towards starting in animation and trying to go in that direction.
Where are you from originally?
Originally, I'm from Odessa, Texas.
Okay.
Yeah, West Texas.
Yeah, nice.
Yeah.
Why do I know what show happened in Odessa?
Oh, Friday Night Lights.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, yeah. There you go.
Yep.
Yeah.
There you go.
They're quite popular for that. Permanent Panthers.
He's like, I'm tired of hearing that.
Yeah.
Was your dad like angry with you that you didn't want to play football?
No. Actually, I was raised by my mom. I didn't know my original dad, so I didn't have a father figure in my life until I was like 12. But I've always been into soccer. So, I was still very athletic and whatnot as a kid. So it's not like, I was a shut-in and stayed inside and didn't ever see the sun. And then obviously growing up outside this generation, I was outside climbing trees and playing in the streets and stuff like that, away from all the PlayStations and all that.
That's that to me it just sucks that when I was growing up, my mom was like, get on your bike, you and your brother get on your bike and get the hell out of my face.
Right. It's like just get out of the house.
Like Saturday morning.
When you see the lights come on, bring your ass back home.
Right.
I can hear it. That's how my mom was like, it's 9 o'clock. It's Saturday. Why are you still in the house? Go.
Yeah.
Right.
But it's cartoons. Right. Yeah. Go.
Outside. Cartoon your ass outside.
I gotta get my X-Men cartoon in right before I get out the house, and it'll be good to go. Yeah.
That wasn't it. No. My mom, she would turn on her music super loud. So we wouldn't even be able to hear that. I'm like, fine, dude, we'll be outside.
She'll chase you out.
Man, she's like, get out.
She's like, I need a vacation.
I don't want to see you for 8 hours. Go.
She needs her break too.
Go to work. Take your brother to the park on the south side. Just go. Get on the L. Here's some money. Just go.
Right.
Come on.
And if you get arrested, then you're just gonna have to spend the night in jail.
Cool. I'm gonna go out.
You got babysitters.
I don't gotta come home tonight.
So then, did you have a when did you? Because you had already answered that question. What I was going to ask you is, at what point in your life did you have a clear path as to your creative career? Was it in school or was it like after college or?
I would say definitely after college. I mean, when I went to school, it was a very naive, I want to work for Disney kind of dream, sure. Which, is always great, but life just doesn't always work that way. You get involved in something else and you realize, oh, okay, well, this is actually kind of interesting. And then you go do something else. And by the time you know it, you're, 3 steps off of where you thought you were going to go.
Right.
But, I think after college, I got into product design with a novelty kind of holiday product company. Like, when you go to any grocery store and you walk down the seasonal aisle and you see all these plushes and candy and toys and stuff like that. It was one of those companies. And their big thing was, I don't know if you're familiar with it, but that singing bass on the plaque.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, that was
Billy Bass?
Yeah, Big Mouth Billy Bass. Yeah, that was their that was their golden child. And so I worked for them for about 3 years, and then I got a job at iStation, which is I would say which is where I had a big turning point, and not even just career wise, but art wise, because that was like the first time I had a real, almost in a sense, more mentor. Like an artist that was really guiding me, because I got to work with he was the co-director of All Dogs Go to Heaven, Dan Kinster.
Nice.
Yeah, and he worked on Land Before Time, Fievel, An American Tale, Secret of Nim, all those nice the big Bluth Bang. Yeah. So he was in that era, and that's kind of where it was. Working with him, he was showing me how to do things in a way that the easiest way to explain it is it literally, like, once it happened, it was like a light switch. It's like, I get it now. And then you're actually understanding things a lot more, as opposed to before I would just kind of stumble my way through stuff and, land on happy accidents or, kind of find it after trying a lot. But once the switch flipped and I started understanding what I was doing, and then you think about things differently, and then it becomes, okay, well, this is what I want to do. This is probably the best way to go about it. you know, you still stumble around a little, but you've got a much clearer path.
Right.
And he helped me understand that and kind of find that and figure it out how I needed to do it. So that was probably my biggest turning point, because then it was at that point, it wasn't necessarily career-wise, okay, well, now I know I'm going to do this. But it let me know that, well, I can pretty much do what I need to do if I just sit down, learn it, understand it as an artist.
That's awesome.
I was trying to remember how many Land Before Times are out there. I think
Oh
they
my
have
God.
they're up to like 37 now, I think.
I would not be surprised. I think he only worked on the first one.
There's a few of them.
I don't think I ever watched anything past one, surprisingly.
So that was when you were working with the Billy Bass Company, that was your big creative break? Was
No,
that your
that
first
that was after, because that was my next job, which was Ice Station. Billy Bass was it was literally my first job out of college. It was just there was no opportunities. I went to an art institute, you know, they got me straight out of high school. I was off in West Texas, didn't know what was going on, you know, outside of all big city, and you know, they had some recruiter come by. It's like, oh, you want to be an artist? Come here. So, you know, it's the only option I had. I went down there with a buddy because he was going as well. And it was good for an art school doing what it needed to do, and that's just make you draw. And then other than that, school-wise, you're going to get what you put into it. But I think connection-wise was probably the best thing that came out of it, because the people I met and, you know, still have friendships with today are actually very good networks. But after that, I went straight to Jimmy, and that's where I got to do a lot of work with production design, or product design, sorry, and working with factories overseas, which is now helping me a lot with this. So because I would design the products, you know, and then we'd send them off to the factory, and then they'd produce a sample, you know, send it back, and you have to make revisions, you know, to let them know, okay, this is wrong, this is the wrong size, this isn't on model, all this and that. But working with the factory and understanding the production process is now, in hindsight, working for Jimmy was a very good thing, because we're doing a lot of that here at Certifiable now. You know, we're having to produce board games and all this and that, and I have to work directly with the factory and try to get everything, the products, the colors, the molds. We have to do everything over here on our own. So it's an experience that's actually turned out to be, it's almost like serendipitous, where everything kind of, it's like, oh, okay, it's almost like everything's coming together. So it's pretty cool.
Let's talk about that for a second, because there's a lot of times where you're doing a job and it doesn't quite make sense at the time, but then all of a sudden, all the work that you were doing before seems to fit into your path now, even though back then was just kind of goofy.
Yeah.
Do you suggest to younger artists or younger folks that might be watching the show, do you suggest just taking any old job, or should they try to be somewhat picky?
I mean, in all honesty, it depends a little bit on your situation. I mean, yes, if you're in desperate need, take any job, but at a certain point, you've also got to be a little real with yourself. You know, you say, okay, you know, I may have applied to DreamWorks, you know, 20 times. There's got to be a reason, something I need to work on. I may not be there yet, but that doesn't mean, you know, you can't just give up. You got to go find something where you know you're going to learn something from it. But yeah, so you have to have a level. I think you have to have a level of realization, but you also have to just keep pushing through it. So if taking a low level job is going to get you there, you know, you've got to try to get the best out of whatever you're going to be, whatever situation you're in. Because you, like you said, you don't know what experience is actually going to turn out and be beneficial in the future.
Yeah.
It's all comes down to that's what experience is about, you know. The more you know, the better you are.
And not everyone's going to end up at DreamWorks, are they, Jack?
Probably because we're too busy checking emails and
Well, that's also the funniest thing. I mean, that's like I said, growing up, I always thought that was the dream, was to be at a studio, and I'm sure it's an amazing place, but a highly competitive environment. But still, when you look back on it, you see all these other artists that over the years I've been admiring, like, oh, he works here at DreamWorks, he works at Disney, he works at Pixar, but they all end up leaving to do their own thing at the end of the day because they don't want to work for somebody else. I mean, you get the experience and then you move on. So it was just a weird mindset I had where like that was the pinnacle of where I thought I had to be a good artist.
Right. Mm-hmm. I think that's really. I think that's a really common belief.
Yeah.
You know, that the validation comes from one of these giant names. And
oh, that was I had a soccer team that back in Dallas that I was doing. They were called the Banana Hammocks, and I was trying to make some characters for a mascot.
I like the third one.
The third one looks like he is just not into it.
Yeah, I don't model that one.
Schlonglord's ears are ringing right now.
I might ask for permission for that one. That's a good one. That's a good expression. Yo, I got a question, but like we'll keep going. We'll keep going with your questions first, Carlos. But come back to me so you remind me because I have a question.
Okay. I was just gonna. My next question was gonna be when you hear, whether it be professional. A lot of times you hear professionals telling young creatives, do work even if you don't get paid, just for the exposure. What's your stance on that?
Yeah, that one's a tough one. Again, I would heavily say that's situational. Lot of it is if I ever did anything like that, a lot of it would be 100% heavily on what kind of vibe I was getting from the people I'm talking to. If it's obvious they're trying to pull one over on you and get free work, you know, that's an obvious no. But you know, some of these contests and stuff like that, you know, it could be beneficial to do, but I don't know if I would promote doing work for free. Like if you're winning a package or something, but the whole, you know, draw us a design for your logo and we'll pick out the best one, and you have like 100 artists giving you basically the concept art that for your logo to see which one you like, and you know, I don't know about stuff like that. So there's a certain gray area where it might be okay, but then, you know, it's not necessarily black and white, at least in my opinion.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Yeah.
But I wouldn't suggest artists go off and, you know, just willy-nilly try believing in the exposure thing, because nowadays exposure is social media. I mean, you have it all over the place. Just go out and do it yourself. I don't want to say expose yourself, but yeah, you know, like go out and, you know, promote yourself.
Security. This is probably going to be the creepiest show yet.
Carlos in the back waving his shirt around.
Exposure. I'm just trying to expose myself. Creature box. I know what to do.
And we're back.
It's great. It's good. Creature box. Look at my exposure.
So good. What were some of the first projects that you were doing specifically for yourself, for your brand, for your ideas?
I think the strongest one would probably be the Barona series that Jesse and I did together, because I think that was actually also the first real push into like just doing cons and stuff. And, you know, just breaking out into what little social media was out at that point.
And we'll talk more about Jesse because he fascinates me. Both of you guys fascinate the shit out of me.
Yeah, he's a character.
So let's go there now. Actually, okay. Charlie, your question, is it more?
It's about a specific piece, so you can keep going. We're good.
Okay.
No.
At what point how did you meet Jesse? And so for those folks that don't know, we're talking about Jesse LeBay.
Mm-hmm.
And he started Certifiable Studios.
Him and two other people. Yes, he is one of the owners.
Okay. So how did you meet Jesse?
I actually met him in college at the Art Institute.
Oh.
He was one of those connections that, stuck. And
awesome.
So we went through college, did our thing. Both of us ended up splitting. He ended up moving back here, and then I stayed in Dallas. Got my job at Jimmy. X amount of years went by, didn't really talk. We were still friends, but we weren't like daily communication kind of friends. And then one day out of the blue, he hits me up. He's like, "Oh, you want to do a con with me? You want to split a table? I keep going to these conventions, and I see these people on the other side of the table doing it, and I think I can do that." And I just, he was like, I was like, okay. And he said I talked to a couple people, and a lot of them said honestly, they just went and they bought a table and prepared their stuff and went. So he probably thought like me, that he thought there was this big ordeal you had to go through, or you had to be somebody to be at these tables. And then out of the blue, he just wanted to do it. So he's like, well, it won't be so bad if we split the table. So then that way we won't be out that much money if we don't sell anything, blah, blah, blah. So I ended up saying, yeah, after a little bit of pushing and pulling, he finally got me to do it. So that's when we really started the convention circuit. And, the first one was an utter train wreck, at least for me. I mean, Jesse's a personality, so he was selling left and right. I was like a deer in headlights. All I remember from the first convention was me and his wife was sitting between us because she was kind of, helping out, organizing things. And I mean, we were laughing so hard the entire time that my cheeks were hurting, hers were hurting. It's just, but we were laughing at me because I couldn't talk to anybody. It's like I was just, it was awful. Yeah. But I think a lot of that also when we decided to come together, and because after that one we started talking about doing something together, and that's when again the Barona started. But it's just a nice pairing. That when we're at the conventions, it's a very he's got so much energy, we feed off each other, and then that everybody around us is probably annoyed as shit, but what happens is the people walking by, it's not just the normal artist looking down, staring at their table and not connecting or interacting with customers. They get to our table and there's, all this energy and laughter and communication. And I think that's a lot of what actually helped us do as well as we did to start doing at conventions.
That's really cool.
But ever since then, that's where we met, and then one thing led to another, and then I finally ended up coming down here for a job. But ever since the convention circuit, we've been a lot closer in communication and working together.
And where's down here? Where's
Mississippi? Yeah, Certifiable.
Oh, it's okay.
Yeah, Mississippi. So I was in Dallas, and he was down here, and he started the company with the other people, and
why Mississippi? Is he from there or?
Yeah, he's from here, and
okay. That makes sense.
And then the other person that he got involved with business wise is has another business here, and it's just too tied in. It's not like they can go to Dallas or anywhere else really.
Okay, we've seen these. Charlie, did you want to fast forward to a piece that you wanted to talk about?
Yeah, when I was doing research, I wanted to make sure it's the same one, which I think is this issue. On your Vimeo page, can you talk about the Luchador turntable?
Oh yeah, the sculpt.
Is that you? Did you sculpt that?
Yes. It was off of Bastian Pourcheur. I'm probably butchering his name, but I saw one of his drawings, and I really liked the Luchador drawing, and it had some dynamic shapes that at the time. I felt so, you know, I thought it'd be a good exercise because it's something that I was trying to think, how would I sculpt this?
Right.
And so I just decided, okay, well, I'll use it as an exercise and I'll sculpt it and try to see if I can get it accurately to somebody else's drawing. Because before I was always sculpting stuff that I did, where if I follow the drawing, but at some point, you know, it's my drawing, so I want to change something, I can change it. I wanted to try to stick to another person's concept.
Yo, beautiful, beautiful sculpt. The
Well,
back,
thank you.
The back muscles and the arm and stuff, and the back, great, because you don't see that, so you got to do your own thing with that one. I put it in the link in the chat, Carlos, for you to pop it up.
Yeah, it was definitely.
It's just a quiet turntable with no sound, so it's perfect.
Yeah,
I have it on loop. It's really good, man.
Thank you, appreciate that. Yeah, I was.
Do you do any other 3D? Because I'm looking for 3D. I'm kind of I want to see more.
Yeah,
you just sit here and just throw that at the front of your Vimeo and then like, cool. I see nothing else.
I should. I guess I don't. I should have some turntables on there. If not, I should have a 3D section on my website. I don't know if it has all the up-to-date stuff.
Oh, did I miss the website? On the website, 3D section? Okay.
There might be a sculpture section.
I missed the sculpture section. Okay, there it is. Cool.
I don't have a.
Go ahead.
Heavy in it. I was just gonna say it's like I'm not heavy. It's more of a. It started more as a hobby, so I'm not like a, you know, full blown modeler or anything. I just got ZBrush and decided to learn it, so it was the easiest for modeling for me because I shut down on like a lot of the technical modeling. There's just too much. When I want to rotate a hand, I don't want to have to do 40 things to do it. So ZBrush just was very user friendly for me as an artist. So I just found that interesting.
Crazy. I don't understand what ZBrush is like tapped into. 2D guys that use ZBrush and say they don't want to do 100 steps to rotate a hand, when that's literally describes the transform tool in ZBrush.
Oh yeah.
Anything in that pro, they've gotten better. Like 2018, it seems pretty nice, and they finally put a gizmo. They finally put a gizmo in 2018, meaning basically a gizmo is the transform, to rotate, and scale tool all in one, instead of it being this weird, like, you could tell ZBrush is made by artists. It's just like, I'm going to change the mode.
Right. Yeah, it's just so easy to throw in any geometry and sculpt. I couldn't resist. But yes, there are. It does have its own quirks. But see, I'm not coming from a like traditional 3D side.
No, for sure. So there's something to their like madness, though, you know, in terms of how they made it, which is super interesting to me, because I've heard that a lot of times, you know, where somebody that only knows ZBrush. All your sculpts and stuff are really cool. And
thank you.
Did you do them based off of because look like the way you have them? There's another guy I know real well, Mike Thompson. He does the same thing. He's a ZBrush because he's doing a lot of figurines and a lot of sculptures and stuff like that. He's doing a lot of stuff for Marvel and a bunch of other places.
Oh, nice.
And it seems like I see a lot of like resin stuff and stuff like that too. Have you gotten into any 3D printing or anything like that?
Oh, yeah. My buddy, when I was working at the previous company before here, iStation, got a 3D printer. So I did a couple of test prints with other stuff and, you know, messed around with that. And then whenever we moved, when I got the job here, we got a Form 2 for production samples. So that way we could, you know, test out heavily. We started using it on our figures for Who Goes There. So we printed the pawns to get just production samples to see what size would work and stuff like that. So
too is a great printer.
Yeah, so we do use it here heavily. So like since I've worked here, I've definitely gotten a lot more involved in 3D. I obviously still use ZBrush heavily, but I've had to learn the more technical programs, and I didn't have we didn't have the funds to buy anything big, so I had to learn Blender.
Yeah,
so we could just go with the free stuff.
We're fans of Blender here.
Yeah, so that's been quite interesting, and you know, starting from ZBrush and going to that actually might have helped a little, because that and the last time I used 3D was back in college before I started really learning it again. So they've made a lot of adjustments to the way things work since then. You know, I'm not vertice modeling by just literally making everything from scratch. So it's now more user friendly. And I had to learn AutoCAD, so we could do box designs, inserts, and stuff like that.
Oh wow! Okay, cool.
Yeah, because it's such a small company here that we got to wear a lot of hats. So we reached out and we're talking to other people to get us to get box inserts designed and stuff, and trays to hold the game. But once I saw what they were doing, I was like, well, technically, you know, I could probably do that. So I started reverse engineering how something like that was made, and it was AutoCAD. And then, you know, you go onto YouTube and you can find any tutorial you want. So I ended up doing like literally like a super crash course in AutoCAD, and got enough knowledge to be able to make something for the factory to produce a mold off of. And then at that point, it was, you know, it's all downhill from there. I'm like, all right.
All right, we got this. Let's do it 100 more times. Yeah, this is great.
All right.
No, it's cool. How was it picking up Blender?
Blender was surprisingly easy.
You 2D guys, and you went.
Was it? Is there something I'm missing?
I hate the hotkeys in Blender, but love it. I've been talking for like 2 years, like 3 or 4 years. But 2D artists, right? Really good 2D artists, like 2D artists, and like kids. Picked up. I've been able to teach Blender to a group of high school students. They know nothing about 3D in like 4 or 5 weeks, and there's some of their characters. Some couple girls I had in the class, their characters are better than my college students. Like, and they're picking, and you know the interface. I mean, Jack, you've messed around with Blender's interface and stuff like that.
Yeah.
Like, so imagine you know nothing about 3D, right? And you pick that interface up. You're like, oh, cool. I've watched a high schooler go like, oh, Mr. Williams, it's kind of easy. I gotta like swallow it and like walk away. Like, gosh. Whereas I know that me personally, I have to like, if I spend a week outside of Blender, if it's like a month, and I have to be like, you know, it's like, and that's probably 'cause I'm not in it enough. But like, even when I was teaching it, you know, that was like 3 or 4 times a week, you know, of being at libraries. I've taught old people, and they've gotten pretty good at making like, you know, chess pieces and pawns and stuff like that. And like, but they pick it up where I'm like, I don't know how this is gonna go. And I make the joke in the class, like, let's start. Let's see how you guys do. And they're like picking it up. You do get it, right? Once you get used to it, you do get it. You're like, and even myself, I'd be like, oh, I kind of like the way this is, you know, when you get into the modeling and whatever. But if I spend a week outside of it,
you forget everything.
Good. I'm like, I'm like, nah. You know, like my hands, like I don't have any fingers, like I got 5 thumbs or something like that. It's just weird. Like, then I'm like, in my head, I want to go fast. I really want to go fast, but like, you know, Blender's like, you know, you got to just sit here and do this. And tomorrow night you'll get some real work done. It's love and hate. But
that makes me wonder is what it would be like to move to another program outside of Blender. I wonder if I
mean, you've already learned AutoCAD. Let's just go learn Fusion next. It'd be great. It'd be good for you. It'd be great. I don't think there's a program out there that's going to be as quirky as ZBrush or Blender in terms of the hotkeys. Everything else is pretty much like, oh, this makes sense. You know,
really,
you know, it's pretty straightforward. Like,
now that makes me want to go try another program. It's like maybe it'd be a lot easier.
Don't listen. Hey, don't let Charlie derail you. Everything is going good. Charlie's real good at ruining things for people.
That makes no sense. I'm bigging them up for the being able to like to pick it up. You know, like, because I think that's awesome.
Yeah, like ZBrush is easy for making the pretty stuff, but like doing all the technical things and retopoing and stuff like that. Yeah, I can make the pretty model and print it, but if I need to put it somewhere where it can be animated, yeah, that's probably not in my wheelhouse. Not yet, at least.
Yeah. And Charlie dropped out for a second. Not really sure. I think he got passionate and unplugged.
He rage quit on you.
That's what he does.
What do I do?
Yeah, you
rage quit.
No,
I did. Everything close to me. I don't know what that was. I was still talking. I was like, wait a minute, I hear nobody else talking. But then like everything, I didn't touch anything. Everything just came back.
So good.
I just think it's a testament to people that do 2D really well. It's just something about it where they translate into 3D really, really well.
Yeah, that's what I
seen
always
it for like
hear.
10 years now. At first I thought, I was like, okay, cool, it sounds good when the Disney guys say it, but I believe them now, you know?
Yeah.
Well, you used to hear it all the time, right? Everybody's heard those talks, like, right?
Yeah.
You know, all the 2D artists that transitioned from 2D to 3D when 3D hit, and killed 2D for a while, you know? Like, I don't know. I think you guys just see things differently, and it just works, you know?
Yeah, I mean, as long as they can pick up the technical aspects, you're just you're thinking every time you draw, you're thinking in 3 dimensions, anyways. So I mean, to a certain extent, a lot of modelers should pretty much be easily able to pick up a little bit of drawing in the same sense, depending on the way their brain works.
I'm glad you said that, because that's a conversation that it depends on where you are. In the streets, you might get jumped.
Yeah.
Wait, what?
No, it's true. Like there's some artists that say 3D artists that can't draw are not true artists, or and vice versa. And you have 3D people. You have 3D people that say you don't need to draw to model.
Right.
I mean, I think that's.
I'm gonna put that out there and let you guys go at it, because
I don't think it's a. I think both sides are right. You know, because I just gave you guys a notion of we have Anthony tonight who can draw really well and transition into 3D really well, but then we have other people like we know that we've had on this show that is complete opposite, and they've made a really good career for themselves. So
I
think it helped for me from a teaching side that I've seen, because I think I've seen both sides. I've seen a student that knew nothing, but in the early classes of their Photoshop classes or design classes, you could tell that, okay, this guy can draw really well. And once they picked up 3D, they were going the extra mile because it just worked. And I've seen other students that didn't have an appreciation. Maybe it's the word, maybe appreciation is a word, appreciation for the 2D side of things, but weren't as good because maybe they had a lack of imagination or creativity or whatever, or work ethic or whatever it was. They just weren't as good. But I don't think it's an end-all, be-all for both cases. I think you can have 2D artists that just refuse to go 3D because they've tried it and it just doesn't work out. And 3D artists that...
I know, but it's boring if you go into the gray area. You have to take a stand just so we can pick a fight.
I think it's definitely situational on the person, but I think it's more is a very interesting topic. But I think it's more on just the way their brain works. Because that's really all it comes down to. It's like, how are you thinking about these things while you're doing them? It doesn't matter if you're drawing, decorating a cake, modeling a character. You know, it's what are you thinking? What is your understanding of what's going on and what you're trying to convey?
Mm-hmm.
I think it's just a very interesting concept to try and decipher.
No, for sure. I definitely think it depends on the perspective of the person and the appreciation, because some people I think some of the guys that really feel like you don't need a 2D at all, I think they don't have the proper appreciation for that craft, you know.
Yeah, and there could be some pride involved in that, like they don't want to admit that they can't do it, you know.
Or maybe I also think too, like, or maybe 3D came easier than the 2D side, where like I've seen 2D artists that are really good. I'm like, you'll be good, you should just try.
Right.
But they don't want to deal with it. They don't want to deal with the
first hit's free.
Right? Just try it. I tell people all the time. I said, like, you could.
Charlie, you're a blender pusher. That's what you are.
I am.
And sketchbook.
sketchbook, Blender, and then once I get them hooked, I start showing them, hey, have you ever tried effects? You know what a fluid sim looks like? And you can create it. You can do it. You can be that.
Here's a free
you learn that
renderer.
modeling software. Why don't you learn this one? And look, this is called Substance Painter.
Just one more.
Now you can texture those gray models. Don't stop there. They can move.
Composite them together.
Yes.
Edit the video.
Don't you want to finish? You want to be a finisher? Gotta give that extra shine, that extra glint of like beautiful. Extra glint of beautiful. Yes. Write it down.
I like that. That's a good show title.
There it is.
What is it?
Extra glint of beautiful.
Oh. Charlie's been trying to get show titles this entire time.
I just breathe it. It's just natural.
I just breathe show titles.
Like drawing and modeling.
No, Charlie. I'm trying to force that on us.
What do you think, Jack? What do you think? You think, Jack? You're an example of someone that can do both.
Yeah. I mean, I think you guys. You know, it's not very controversial, but I think you guys hit it on the head. I think, you know, it's obviously different for every person, and it depends on what your background and your history is. I mean, it's the same way with traditional stuff. It's like, you know, you might have somebody who's a really great sculptor but can't draw or paint worth shit. You know, I think I think to some degree there is kind of like a brain and like a different way that people work, but I also think there is a larger component that is it's just like a muscle that's not exercised. I think a lot of these folks can learn it and can be great at it. They just got to break that barrier and learn a new tool, which is tough. I mean, for some people, it's really hard to learn a new tool. Not even just digitally. It's just hard to learn a new medium. Hard to kind of break out of your box.
Yeah.
I think it's those kind of two components. I mean, there are people I think that are just better at one over the other, or will never get, you know, CG or get drawing or whatever. But I think more often than not, it's those two components. It's, you know,
I think you hit it on the head there with that one. That's a good one, because like, if you're trying to be good at something, right, and you know, especially for season, let's talk about seasoned artists, because, you know, newbie artists don't really know anything yet. They're learning and they're fumbling through life. They're fumbling through life till they get it. Son. You know, but like if you get to the point where you know,
he said it, not us. Folks.
I said it. Yeah, I'm gonna hold that.
The views expressed by Charlie B. Williams are not supportive.
No, you are as a newbie. You're fumbling through until you learn it, and then like it's like the difference between being young and being a young man and being that older man. You know that, you know. How you think at 21 is different than how you think at 30. But like at the same time, I think a lot of artists get to the point of what Jack's saying later on, where they realize, okay, cool. Because we used to have, this leads to another like discussion, you know, having a gift versus having talent and working at it. And I've kind of learned that more because I've had this conversation with Danny Williams a lot of times about, you know, you exercise that muscle so you learn to become really good at it. Whereas maybe when you're first starting on art, you're thinking, man, that dude's just really good at drawing. And more so you learn with a mature eye that like he just spent a long time at doing it and became really good. I think there is a level, I still argue back and forth with Danny with this and other people. I think there is a level of talent and gift involved in somewhere, but I don't want to nullify. Because I know some artists think when you say that like you nullify all the years and hard-earned passion they put into really working at a craft to become good at it, and just by saying it's talent, it cheapens it, right? But I think to what Jack was saying, it takes a lot to learn a new skill. Whereas if you're doing all, like for me, if I'm doing all the 3D stuff and then want to do this here and then want to do this here, and then I'll pick up drawing and knowing what it takes to do the drawing really good or drawing stuff in general, like you would have to stop and do that for like however long it takes to become good at it, you know? So it's like, where do you put your time, you know? And like, based on what you want to do, you know? So I think all those points we've talked about tonight is interesting, you know? And that's when you need more time. I just need to get the Infinity Gauntlet or something and just stop it and just learn.
And I think a lot of it too is the company you keep.
Right.
And we kind of touched on that right now, because you could how many people have you heard say this? I used to draw and I used to be really good. Whereas like, that's why I like doing the fun prompts. That's why I like going to the conferences. That's why I like hanging out with Jack and Charlie and Anthony whenever he lets me. And, you know, because I mean, when you go to those conferences, that's what it is. It's just like everyone that speaks that same language is there.
Yeah.
And you're learning even on accident.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
And then you have, like, talk to us, Anthony, about, like, you go to work with your friends and everyone is creative.
Yeah. It's you know, I've always wondered what again, like a studio environment, you're kind of in that every day, you know. You're in a highly competitive, you know, top tier kind of environment. So you learn at I'm assuming much faster pace. It's kind of like that here. It's just we're so small. It's definitely not to that same scale. I'm definitely surrounded by creative people, but it's like the four same creative people all the time. You know, they're literally my entire social network here. It's just you know, small town, don't really know many people. So, but it's what we do all day for about, you know, 12 to 13 hours a day, because it's kind of the difference of working for yourself. You know, is you don't mind working extra hours because it doesn't feel like work, because you're trying to, you know, you're creating something that you want to create for yourself.
Right.
It's actually a really good feeling. Yeah. But yeah, no, it's awesome to get here, come and work and be surrounded by creativity and like-minded individuals. It definitely changes things from being in a corporate office where you're the only artist and, you know, surrounded by a bunch of business suits, you know, stuff like that. That'll cramp your style real fast.
Especially, I always say this on this show, and sometimes professionally. It's incredible how no one is an artist until the artist shows up. And then all of a sudden everyone knows about flow and color value. And
everyone's a creative director.
Right. If you're such a good creative person, why am I here?
Exactly.
Because I had my sister do it and then she messed it up.
Right.
So now I want you to do it, and I want you to do it for $5.
Don't even get me started on that one. How many times have I heard, I'm going to go ahead and let my husband take a crack at it?
Take a crack.
Okay. You know it's going to cost you more when you come back.
Right. Or my favorite is when you get the creative client who's like, "Oh, can you change the color of this? I like green." Or actually, my kid likes green. You know, I think the shirt should be green. You know, it's like, yeah, but that doesn't work at all. Well, let's make it green. It's like,
here with your kid.
Yeah. I always love those where it's like, okay, you hired me for my experience, my years of practice, all this and that, and you're going to tell me to design it based off of somebody who doesn't do art at all.
Right.
Gotcha.
Your kid who may be, what, 12?
If you're lucky, yes.
Yeah. And that's why when I do client work, I check my pride at the door.
Yeah.
And
to an extent, I do as well.
Yeah, I mean, sure.
Yeah, I mean, you got to keep your confidence.
You want to give your expertise, but at the end of the day, they're paying you.
Yeah.
You want green. Like I used to, my blood used to boil, especially when the one guy, I was working on his website, and he goes, "That font is not friendly enough."
Those are the best.
So you changed everything to Comic Sans.
And this is back before web fonts and all that stuff. So you had like Arial, you had Times New Roman. You had Arial and Times New Roman. Like, what do you want? I'm not going to make a friendly image of, 15 paragraphs. That's
Right.
silly.
Right.
So yeah, so you just learn to be like, okay, okay, what do you want it to be? Now, if it's going to ruin the entire piece, I might chime in and be like, look, this is why you might not want to do that, this, that, and that. But at the end of the day, it's your project, it's your thing. But this is what I think.
Yeah, exactly.
And then you let them make the decision, and you make sure that they sign the bottom of the check.
Right.
Make sure you sign it in that friendly font.
Right. That was Comic Sans. Yeah, you're gonna have to sign that in Comic Sans.
It's like Comic Sans,
So what do you guys do at because I don't think we've touched on this yet. What do you guys do at Certifiable?
We make board game and tabletop games. So, and we're predominantly a Kickstarter funded company at this point. So when we're currently working on a couple of new games as well. So whenever we get the game ready to be launched on Kickstarter, we'll launch it on Kickstarter, plug it as much as we can anywhere we can, try to have a couple in the pipe at the same time, and then move on to the next project. Yeah.
And so, how's that I'm assuming that business approach is working because you're still there.
Yeah, in a small scale it works. It's hard to scale up just because it obviously costs money to make money. We can't hire a lot of people if we don't have the income coming in, but given that, luckily, most of us here are pretty much generalists, so we can do a lot of this stuff. So we don't have to outsource or spend extra money to do this or that. But with the case with any generalist is if you're doing X, you're not doing Y. So things tend to take a little bit longer than if you had 20 people working on the job.
So are you guys the producer and the brand name behind the games, or are you contracted as the designers and the?
No, we design the games, the mechanics, the art, all of it. Yeah, and we just don't. We're not distributors ourselves of the games, publishers yet per se. We do everything from creation to shipping it off to the factory, and then from there it goes to distributors that go out to, or whatever deals we make with other vendors. But we're hoping to get to a point to where we can distribute ourselves, because then you don't have to worry about MSRP, all that stuff, having to raise prices because you got to add in the vendor cut and all that stuff.
Right.
Yeah.
So what are some of the games you guys have worked on that you guys have released?
Well, we had the first one that Jesse was working on before I came down, and when I came down, was in the process of finishing it. It's called Endangered Orphans. It's a little card game, kind of take that game where it's player versus player. So that one was the first game, and then the second game was a licensed product based off a book called Who Goes There. So if any of y'all are familiar with The Thing, the John Carpenter movie, it was based off the book Who Goes There. So we got the license to the book to do the game, and they followed the book so closely in the movie that it's having the license to the book is almost like having the license to the movie. It's just, we can't use likenesses or anything. So we made a it's kind of like a co-op game with growing paranoia. So it's co-op until it's not, kind of thing, where everybody starts on the same team, but then as you go and search for the things you need, you have the possibility of becoming infected. And so as these black cards get distributed, players start not trusting each other, and at some point somebody becomes infected, and then you're trading with everybody else, and it just builds this growing tension that kind of culminates at the end. So we launched that one middle last year. That one ended up raising us, I think it was like close to 650,000. So that one was our biggest.
Nice.
And then we did Stuffed after that. So Who Goes There is literally in the final stages of production at this point. So we've shipped everything off. They're finishing mass production. Hopefully this month we should be getting our final sample, and then everything will be shipped off to the backers and the warehouses and all that stuff from China. And then we're actually finishing or about to start mass production on the second title the third game that we kickstarted, which was called Stuffed. And it's a little card and dice game where you're kind of matching symbols and, using characters that you collect to get actions like rerolls and stuff like that, where you're getting to change your dice. And it's a little strategy card dice game. That one did really well as well. So we've been pretty fortunate because we've also built a decent following on Kickstarter, and it's kind of like the rabid fans where they are, it's like, I don't care what you're buying or selling, I'll buy it. Yeah. So we're building a very loyal fan base.
That's always good to hear and just amazing, because it's hard. There's a lot of people that think Kickstarters are easy, and and it's just really cool to see you guys getting that done and actually having the following on Facebook and everything.
Yeah. It's pretty interesting being in that world now, because it's pretty crazy to see how much of it's based on literally transparency and honesty. I mean, we could have something go horribly wrong, but if we tell the backers, it's like, look, this is what happened. A game might be delayed a couple weeks, 2 weeks, a month, maybe, but here it's out of our control. They understand. You might get a couple of people upset, but I've seen or heard through our backers, I mean, there are some Kickstarter campaigns that are getting just ripped apart because they don't tell anybody anything, and then their game's 6 months to a year late, and it's like, really, you have my money, what are you doing?
Right.
So the fact that they're not communicating, it's funny how being honest is actually beneficial.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't think it's ever not beneficial, but you get what I mean.
Yeah. You're like, this works.
Well,
no, but it's for
here's one time where lying is beneficial.
What?
Let's say,
or keeping the truth or whatever. The one time, if someone ever asked you, do these jeans make my butt look big?
Oh, yes, of course.
Yeah,
that one. You might want to stretch the truth on that one.
Don't stretch those jeans. Just stretch the shirt.
Yeah. You just
say horrible.
You tell them they don't make you look big; they make you look beautiful.
Oh! Hang on, let me write down. Make you look. So let's talk about this following that you guys have built up. Does Kickstarter help your Instagram? Does Instagram help Kickstarter?
A little of both, yes. Kickstarter to Instagram, probably not so much. I've noticed a lot with Instagram, probably like with most anything. I'm sure it happens the same way, but you only get a certain % of your following that is ever going to follow through with a purchase or anything. Cause I'll get, X amount of thousand of people that'll like a drawing I do. But as soon as I mention anything about a book for sale or a print for sale, I literally get like a third of that. So there's a third of people that are like legitly interested in purchasing. So it doesn't matter that there's X amount of thousand people following. You have to think, okay, I'm going to post this ad for Kickstarter on our campaign. There's probably literally only going to be about 15% of those people that will actually transition over.
Right. Yeah.
And same for the Kickstarter world. Like the Kickstarter helps a little because for the social media following, because there are certain things we can implement like social goals where, get to X amount of thousand followers on Facebook or Instagram and this unlocks for the game. You know, we can incentivize that way. But then those could at the same time become hollow followers. You know, it's literally, okay, well, I'll follow for the campaign, and then after that, you know, or I created an Instagram ad just for that. And
Right.
so that's not going to transition into anything beneficial further on down the line for you, because that's going to be in the, you know, 85% of the people who don't respond to anything. So it's kind of a weird system that one benefits a little but not enough, and if it does benefit, it's not really in a beneficial way or a positive way. It's not going to help you in the long run. Because if you have an extra 10,000 followers that you just got on Instagram, but it's because they were just following you because they get something free.
Yeah,
so,
that's true.
It's not really working. Yeah.
Yeah.
Because I think one of the things that I really like about you and Jesse is that you guys are super active. You guys are always streaming on Instagram. You guys are always drawing together. And I try to watch both of you at the same time, but
yeah,
you know, I'll watch you more. I'm just gonna sorry, Jesse.
right.
Oh, man.
Yeah, we used to be, we actually have slowed down a little bit, and that's only just because things have been busy. But yeah, we definitely try to keep active, because I mean, obviously that's the only way you're gonna, you know, maintain any kind of following. You know, you stop posting anything for a couple of days and you drop like X amount of followers, and you're like, oh man, that hurt.
Right. And then, oh, what was I going to say? Ooh, this age thing is getting bad.
It doesn't get better.
Oh, no, it doesn't. Ooh, and I had a good point too. Anyway, so yeah, I'll be watching you guys. You guys are super active. This is what I was going to say. It's really cool, motivating, good to hear a team like you guys, where you guys are all on the same mindset, and you guys understand it, that you know, it's a new way to do business, quite honestly.
Right.
You guys are out there streaming. You guys are out there going to, you know, conferences, and you guys are doing Kickstarters and stuff like that. That's brand new stuff.
Yeah, we got kind of lucky. I mean, it's finding somebody obviously that kind of meshes with your style. We can match when needed. We can match each other's styles enough, or find a common style that both of us are strong in, and then we can both go with that. And then there's also just, I think with anything, there's a certain, I feed off of him, he feeds off of me in a certain way that is just beneficial. That obviously any working professional partnership needs. So if you find a team of people that are like-minded individuals and all have the same goal and interests, and obviously commitments, then it's
hold on tight.
Exactly. The sky's the limit. If you want to do it, go for it. You know, it's like whatever idea you can come up with. Then generating the income is the problem, though, and that's where Kickstarter comes in.
Right.
Income, though.
Right.
Yeah.
And then going back to that, when you guys are creating the game, do you guys actually create the rules of the game? Do you guys, or do you guys?
That was one of the again, like I think people would probably be a little bit, at least in the board game industry, would be a little bit kind of like, wow, if they realized how much was done by just us. Because you know, you look through any of these board game rule books and you see you know, illustrators, game designers, you know, packaging design, insert design. They have literally like 20 people doing everything. Ours has maybe 3. Because again, like, who goes there? Was, you know, I learned AutoCAD to do all the box inserts. I did ZBrush and figured out all that stuff. So we literally made everything from game mechanics, designed the cards, the art, the graphic design, packaging, designed the rule book, laid that out, wrote the rule book, you know, all the way down the line until literally sending it off to China was done by 3 people.
Wow.
Easily, it obviously, time becomes part of the issue, but the fact that you can do an entire production process on your own, it'd be like saying, okay, well, I want to make a short. Okay, I don't need anybody else. I can do it all ourselves. Well, there you go. It's
right.
Said the crazy man.
Exactly. Depending on the short, obviously we try to work with some efficiencies and plan things accordingly.
Yeah.
We don't do any heavy mini games, because obviously that all that modeling is done at this point just by me, because none of the other guys know 3D.
Mm-hmm.
You can do it.
That's because they're lazy. You are carrying the success for that company.
I won't go that far.
Gassing them up right now.
I like to get people lathered up. Like right now, Jesse's gonna be like, "What the hell?"
Wait a minute. Why is everything you saying so creepy? What do you mean you like to lather people up? That's that.
You'll have to get Jesse on the show, and I'm sure it'll be the other way around.
Yeah. What do you mean he said that? I didn't say that.
I put a battery in his back. Let's go.
So let's go back to, well, we met because I don't think that we've talked about this yet on the show. I was on my way home from CTN. I was at the airport, and I bump into these four guys, and they all had there was like all this equipment and stuff, and I was like, hey, what's going on? And then we struck up a quick little conversation. Come to find out, Anthony was right there, and I was like, dude, I've been just like geeking out over your work for a super long time, and it turns out that you're super, super cool. And then you introduced me to Jesse, who's super cool on a completely higher energy level.
Yes. He's got a lot of energy.
And
Too much sometimes.
And so, on this show, a lot of times we try to talk about, the importance of going out and connecting like that.
Yeah.
Can you talk about that? Like, actually, what was your experience at CTN, and how did you find it? Did you find it successful? Was it worth it?
Oh, see, I have no trouble saying CTN was literally the best convention that we've ever done, and by far was it not the most productive, lucrative. We didn't sell nearly a third of what we've done at any normal con, but literally everything that came out of CTN was just networking, getting to be around all these amazing artists that we all geek out over, and you're like, oh, they're just hanging out talking, they're all cool guys, girls. I mean, it's awesome and so invigorating to be around that kind of creative energy and get to meet all these people and hang out with them, on a social level, and just realize it's like, hey, they're just, obviously they're just normal people like us, and they're all cool guys and girls, and then just get to spend time with them and pick their brain, and everybody, and that's what everybody's doing. Everybody's sitting around basically picking each other's brains and just geeking out over each other. And I think that alone is, just to even go, not even sell, is beneficial. Just go to see it. Yeah. It's you can't get anything better than that. But it was it was definitely one of the best experiences we've had.
Are you guys going to be going to any conferences at all?
Yeah, we have a couple on the list. We don't have a lot that are set in stone. There's a big wish list. I know one that we're going to be going to for sure is Gen Con, but a lot of them are starting to gear a little more towards board games. So we're going to go to Gen Con. I believe that's in the fall sometime.
Yeah, it's the big one in Indiana.
Yeah, so we'll be going to that one. We won't actually be vending a table or anything like that. We're going to be, they have a game section that is there for prototyping and test playing. So we'll be there with our new release Who Goes There once we have it.
Oh, you have a lot of testers. That's cool. I love that they do that. It's a big, huge convention. If you guys haven't heard of Gen Con, look it up. It's like huge for tabletop and D&D and all that stuff. It's great.
It's supposed to be massive.
It's massive, man. I have buddies who just go every year, like pilgrimage. Like everybody jumps like literally, if you're really into the tabletop stuff and all that stuff, they would jump in like vans, like and go. So like you're gonna have a lot of.
You're gonna be swarmed.
But it's good. I love that they do the prototyping thing. That's such a smart thing that Gen Con does, because they literally get a guy and be like, okay, cool, let's do this, and they let you come out with your game, man. That's gonna be good. That's smart.
So we're gonna do that one, and then there was talks of doing PAX Unplugged. I think we're waiting to hear back on that one. And then we were tossing around the idea, and still are, of Designer Con actually. And that one might be more of a personal thing than going certifiable company thing, just because we're not sure yet how, if we could really pitch a board game idea. It might just be more like, if we don't just go, it might just be selling more prints, artwork, stuff like that, going more as artists instead of game designers. But I heard good things about that one at the last CTN, and that one it seems like it's, I don't know if I guess it's just still kind of new, so it might just be getting some of that new buzz. I don't know.
I keep hearing that it's definitely worth checking out, though.
Yeah,
where is that one at?
That's in LA.
Yeah,
Burbank. Usually it's
usually in Burbank.
What's the angle with that one? Is it like?
It's just designers more than anything.
Yeah, you get a lot of vinyl and figures.
Oh, okay.
Okay. Yeah, it's very heavy, like product and.
Really?
Where CTN is like
more illustrator, cartoon kind of stuff.
Cartooning,
animations.
Yeah.
Designer kind of product heavy.
Yeah. I think the biggest issue was that one was so close to CTN. I know last year it was on the same weekend.
Yeah.
Have they rectified that? Is it on the same weekend this weekend?
I'm not exactly
one person
sure.
budget and be like, yo, let's just make sure we're not the same.
I thought I heard that they were going to offset them at least a week, but I don't know for sure if that happened or where it's at now.
So Designer Con is November 16th to 18th.
Well, it sounds like the same weekend.
Oh yeah, that sounds like it.
And CTN is November 16 to 18. Yeah.
Yeah.
Skip it, huh?
They're still competing, I guess.
Yeah. And there's a lot of people that'll do both.
Yeah.
And listen, there's no Designer Con is pretty affordable. Actually, was it last weekend? No, two weekends ago, I went to a sketch bomb in San Francisco. Our buddy Mike Henry started that. But anyway, I went to a sketch bomb, and some of the people there were going to go to CTN, but they weren't going to buy a ticket for the classes or anything. They were just going to buy the ticket that's pretty affordable just to get in and maybe even just look at the tables and stuff. They're there for the networking. They're not there for the classes. So that's an alternative, because it can get somewhat expensive if you're trying to do all the stuff and you're trying to watch all the classes and everything, but you can find ways around that to just be there. And I think that needs to be your focus, is just be there, get wrapped up in the community.
Yeah.
And then Designer Con is a little more affordable, but it's the focus is a little different.
Yeah. Yeah. If you play your cards right, I'm sure you could like vend at Designer Con, and then, like you said, go to CTN as more of a visitor and attendee instead of trying to sell a table. Because again, the sales aren't what you usually go for CTN. It's literally the networking.
Right.
It gets a little harder though. I can only imagine if somebody like obviously students and whatnot, it's not like they can just go there and get to hang out with all the cool artists that they follow and enjoy. It's kind of a strange area because we have the luxury with Jesse. It's like he's talked to so many people that he's actually created a couple of networks, so he becomes my gateway to get to meet other people. So now it's kind of interesting going to something like that and actually being able to see somebody that remembers us from another convention. I can't imagine telling some artists to say, oh, go to CTN, you'll meet tons of people, and if they're not able to, it's not like you can just walk up to normally anybody and just be like, walk up to Cheeks, Sean Galloway, and all of a sudden be his buddy, Yeah. So it's kind of hard to tell somebody to go and network without having to be that sales guy who's always giving you the pitch saying, oh, can you look at my portfolio, this and that.
Right.
Like how would you have,
and that's the good thing about CTN and even Ground Zero. We'll talk about that here in a second. Ground Zero Animation Expo, where they have specified times and locations for the portfolio reviews.
Yeah.
And that's what if you're trying to break in, that's where you get your tips. Because for example, I was walking down, between when I went to CTN, on the right side, they had the artist tent with all the tables and everything, and all the classes were in the hotel on the left. Well, I was walking down the middle, and there was Jorge Gutierrez. And I was like, Jorge, what's up, dude? And I geeked out on him, and we took selfies together and stuff, and it was really cool. And that was that. Like I didn't want to bother him by saying, hey, look at my iPad, look at all my work. That's not that's not what that's there for. And then so hopefully, I mean he meets hundreds of thousands of people, so I doubt he's going to remember my face, but at least I can be like, yeah, those, in 2016 we met at CTN, la la la. So now we have common ground to talk if we ever have a better situation where we can talk.
Right. I was just curious, like, how would you tell somebody, because honestly, if I didn't know Jesse and have that I would be the more nervous type of guy and artist that was going up there. Now I wouldn't be trying to show people, it's like, I'm not talking about portfolio review, because the really good thing I got from CTN was just getting to like hang out with guys as artists, because we've been lucky enough to meet a couple of people that know other people, and then at that point you're hanging out on a different level. You're networking on a different level.
Right.
So it's not like I can suggest someone to go to CTN and they're going to get the same experience that I got, because they might not be lucky enough to have an in. So I wouldn't know how to suggest to somebody to go to CTN and get that same kind of experience without forcing themselves. You know what I mean? It's like some people are obviously better than others, but about networking,
that initial hello or what's up is really hard. But
always have. So this is a pro tip. Always have your portfolio ready just in case, but don't force it on anyone.
Oh yeah.
Right. And what'll happen is, you'll go and you'll hang out, even if you don't talk to, people that might have a job available, right?
Yeah.
If you just go and you draw and you hang out and be part of the community and just be cool, be yourself.
Yeah.
Be cool. And if your art is really good, people will begin to look at your art. Right. And that's when you hit them with a portfolio.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But if you don't know anyone, that's why you're there. You have to come out of your shell just a little bit.
Yeah.
And me, I talk a lot, so that's not a problem for me. But if you're on the quieter side, what you can do is team up with someone else who looks a little quieter.
Yeah.
Right. So then you're maybe a little more reserved, and then it's easy because you guys' brain works the same way. Me and Jesse, we would have burnt that place down if we knew each other.
Yes.
That place would have came down. But if you're a little more introverted, just go and draw and feed off of people, and that's how you start to make those bonds and those friendships, and that's what's going to carry you on into the next thing. Because even if you don't bump into someone, there's going to be someone out there that bumps into someone that knows someone or might be that person that you wanted to meet. And because you guys spent half hour, 45 minutes drawing together, now you guys are connected. And that person just got done seeing your artwork for a half hour, 45 minutes. They might be, if they're cool, they're going to be like, hey, Anthony, come here, show them your work because it was really good.
Right.
Yeah, right? You can do like general conversation in general, like about things you've seen at the convention or things that are going on. I've sparked up. I mean, I'm kind of a talker also, but like I sparked up conversations just based off of like seeing somebody else drawing something or doing something. When I go to big conventions, like SIGGRAPH and others, and Comic-Con conventions and stuff like that, it's easier to be like, "Ooh, what you drawing?" or whatever, because then like you can spark up conversations like that. You know what I mean, it's hard. It's that initial conversation of talking. It's hard. But
here's how I struck up a conversation with Jorge. We were walking by and I said, Jorge. He's like, hey, what's up, man? I go, dude, it's so cool to see brown kids out here doing it. And we sat there talking for a while.
See, but you have the leeway to be able to do that. There are some people I wouldn't recommend doing that.
I don't know.
But that was our common ground. Right?
Yeah.
I'm not saying. I mean, if you're not brown, I don't suggest you doing that because people look at you like crazy.
Brown kids doing it.
Imagine my white ass being like, "Yo, Jorge,
I don't know.
Jorge,
you might get a laugh, Brownie. Jack. You might get a laugh. It's so good to see." They might look at you like, "Wait, what?" Okay, thanks, bro. I'm walking away now.
I wouldn't
recommend it. Right?
But no, the lesson there is, if you are a fan of those people, you will know some of their interests. Mm-hmm. You will have followed them a little bit.
Yeah.
Like, even if you're not a brown kid and you see Jorge Gutierrez, you go to him and you'd be like, yo, Lucha Libre, dude, that's my jam.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. True. I'm sure a lot of those things are good to go to in groups. Like get a group of the same like-minded friends and
even one or two. All it takes is one other person. I mean, even if it's not a big famous artist. I mean, find connections with regular artists, regular dudes in the hallways and stuff.
Oh yeah, for sure.
Those are the easier ones to like start off with, and then tag team. Hey, yo, but in all seriousness, like I think it's hard for anybody, even if you're outgoing, right?
Yeah.
To talk to people you don't know. Like I think I told Carlos this after Carlos came down and met me at SIGGRAPH a couple years ago, and I took the notion of going to SIGGRAPH by myself. You know, like did the whole package, right? Did the classes, did everything. But those first couple of days was like out of like the 7 or 8 years, 10 years or so working in industry, being super outgoing, going to different like local user groups and meetups and stuff like that. It was different being in LA by myself for the first couple of days, like with no one, didn't take anybody on the trip with me. Mm-hmm. I think I told Carlos like, yo, it was weird. For the first time outside the convention center, I was like, I don't know anybody. And I'm a very
right.
But I had that like,
wait, what did you? I'm a very popular person.
I said I'm a very talkative and outgoing person.
Okay.
He's a very outgoing.
I never said that either, but I am pretty big deal. Pretty
and then Carlos went and got his cape and saved the day.
No, but seriously, yeah, no, it didn't. Anyway, it was weird at first, but then you start to get used to it, right? Or I found myself
start seeing the same faces.
Yeah, and you start to see like the different things you go to, like if there's different events or something like that, and you're sitting there, and you want to go see something. You spark up conversations right before the event happens. and then you've been sitting next to somebody who's been watching the same thing or watching the same little talk or whatever, and then it becomes easier, you know, in terms of like, man, I really like this artist, and the other guy's like, yeah, he's pretty cool. Yo, man, what's your name? And then like, you know, that's how that starts. Or what are you hitting up next? I want to find more stuff like this. You know, sometimes it's directions. It's like, yo, I like that you have right there. I don't care about anything else you're doing right now, but that right there is pretty cool. I've done that before too. And they're like, oh, dude, this is over at this booth over here. Let me show you. And I'm like, oh, okay, cool. You know, I'm like, cool. I appreciate you showing me. I think you could just point me in the right direction, but thanks. You know, it's great. He's like, no, this is cool because this is really good. You know, and that happens all the time at the Comic-Con for me, more so because somebody's carrying a poster, somebody's carrying a comic art book or something which maybe I was looking for and didn't know about, and then like you're like, where'd you get that? That's really cool. And they like people are I feel like people are very like open to show you what they got, especially if they bought something.
Oh yeah,
you
they're
know,
all proud of it. Yeah,
and then next thing you know, like I've seen some really cool figurines and like vinyl stuff that people bought. I'm like, where did you get that? Like really cool like street art style vinyl. And there's like, dude, there was like 4 of them. You might be able to get one more, but it's over here. I got to show you this.
And what?
Show you on the
what
map.
happens is people get wrapped up in it, and will walk you to wherever it was that they picked it up.
Yeah.
It's
a personal tour.
How that works.
And every time that happens, it happened like last year at the con. Like they're always sold out. But he's like. But the guy's like, yo, but it's really cool if you want to look at it one more time before I walk away. Like, thanks.
Like,
now you're making jokes and you start to create banter. Like, but yeah, it's always like posters or some weird art book or something. I'm like, yo, where'd you get that? You know? And this dude over here on this side of Artist Alley, he's at the end, you know, on the other side of this big artist, but he's there and he's really cool. We'll talk to him. So
nice.
So yeah, speaking of conventions and stuff like that, Sketch Zone will be tabling. Our Sketch Zone is a sponsor of Ground Zero Animation Expo, gzaexpo.com. That's right, newsflash. And I say that, I mean, we're in the conversation, but today I went and I got my banner. I got the Sketch Zone banner. I got a table runner. We got a bunch of really cool stuff.
Right?
You should have showed it off in the background. You have it?
It was all. Yeah, it's down there. It's packed up. I can probably real quick get the Sketch Zone one out.
Is it one of those retractable banners?
Yeah.
Mine is.
Those things are nice.
Mine is.
Those are nice,
right?
Retractable
banners, like
super tall. You can like undo it and go.
So convenient.
So this is going to be the one that we hang on the wall. It's upside down. This is going to be the Sketch Zone one.
Nice.
Yeah. Once you figure out how to hang that behind you after you're done with it.
Right.
Right.
Yeah. It's massive.
I wanna do that. I have to start hanging up all my stuff because right now I like to brag about this a little bit. Right now, all I have is just Shiloh's work.
Oh, look at that.
Yeah, buddy. Shiloh's probably tired of me doing that, but I don't care, Shiloh. I don't care, Shiloh. That's my pride and joy right there.
Nice.
Oh, yeah.
Come back and take it.
So yeah, Sketch Zone, Ground Zero Animation Expo, all that good stuff. So and that's the thing. I wanted to get a little bit of coaching. Might be a bad word or a bad use right now, but tips, because you guys tabled that CTN.
Mm-hmm.
What are some tips that you can give us? Because this is my first outing in this type of
tabling
arena. Yeah.
You've never tabled before, you mean?
No.
Oh, okay. I don't know. It's are you selling?
Bring Jesse.
Yeah, well, you are the Jesse as far as I can tell. So I think you should be pretty okay on the engaging anybody coming to your table thing, but
yelling at people, "Hey, you, come here."
I guess it all depends on what your major goal is. I mean, obviously promoting Sketch Zone, but is there any product merch you got going on or anything?
I know Jack is bringing some stuff, but I'll let him fill that in. The only things I have is I'm making a print of all my fun prompts.
Yeah.
And that's it actually got shipped out today, so I should have that here probably within the next week.
Yeah.
So yeah, I took all the Sketch Zone fun prompts that we do, or that we've done up to now, and I put them all in place, and now it's going to be a nice poster.
Very nice.
And I'm going to see if I can unload those.
Yeah. I mean, the biggest thing is obviously, which you're not going to have any trouble with, is, engaging with the people passing by. People are going to be drawn to the energy because, like I was saying earlier with Jesse and I, and even with his wife behind the table, all of us, I mean, we all get along really well. We have a lot of fun. We're cracking jokes, we're laughing. We're also talking to the people coming by, but they're drawn to that energy as opposed to the artists that they may admire, but they're still behind their table working on their long list of drawings that they need to get done before the convention's over. Never looking up, kind of thing is, if you're engaging anybody that comes by, they're gonna be drawn to talk to you, or if they see that you're having a lot of fun laughing or whatever, they come up and see what's going on at the table, and then that's when you start your sales pitch at that point, because you've already snagged them. They're like, oh, that there's something going on over there. Let me go see what's on the table.
Eye contact.
Yeah, exactly. Which, like I said, you're probably not gonna have any trouble with. Just keep your shirt on, but
Yes.
Depending on what kind of money you're trying to get, I mean, maybe take it off. I don't know.
No.
Yeah, that's gonna be Ground Zero Animation Expo.
Ground Zero
after dark. Jack, what are you planning?
I mean, I've got a little bit of my own stuff, and then we've got some Sketch Zone merch, but it's the Sketch Zone portion of the booth is definitely more about the show and about. We've got some cool stuff planned. We're gonna do like a small interview space where we can do live, short clip interviews.
That's cool.
And then we love the fun prompt, and the fun prompt loves us. So we're gonna do like a live fun prompt area where you can doodle or sketch either on like a Cintiq, iPad, or maybe some actual paper. We're gonna get kind of a fun little like interactive area going to get.
Yeah, that's a great idea.
Yeah.
So you're gonna have it. It's cool because even though I won't be able to be there, you guys will have a nice, like, if people, because people love the front prompt, it's gonna be a nice little huddle of people.
Yeah, because you're going to get somebody who just wants to doodle, and then you're going to get people who want to watch them, and then maybe will want to do it themselves. Or
if you have an interview going on at the same time.
Yeah, then we have an interview. So
5 to 10 minutes. Yeah.
Exactly. And then if we got somebody who's great, we can pull them over for an interview. Hopefully somebody can hook us up with somebody who's like, oh, my buddy over there is whoever, and then they come on over, and it's kind of this nice fluid, dynamic thing happening.
Yeah, that's gonna be really cool if you can get some of the larger
table. Yeah.
That'll be really cool. Actually. Well, it sounds like y'all got it covered. What are you asking for tips for?
Because I've never done it. I'm nervous, and I ran out of nails.
It sounds like y'all are gonna do pretty awesome.
And then on top of all that, you got loud Carlos.
Yeah, exactly.
Like eyeing people as soon as they see the film. Hey, come here. Come talk to me. And they'll bring people in, and then I'm sure it's kind of cool because you're gonna see a lot of people, you're gonna know a lot of people. People are gonna mosey on around, people we've had on the show and stuff like that, which will come by and stop by the booth. And
there's been like Steven Silver has been on the show. He's gonna be there. He's gonna be tabling there.
Oh, nice.
The young lady that's putting it all together, Eva Sawinski, she's obviously going to be there. She's on the show. We talk quite a bit. She's super cool. Yeah, and then
you guys have a sound system?
Like
a mini.
I don't know.
Like
one of those blow horns, or what is it? The
Oh yeah.
No. Like you can get the little mini. Like I've seen some really cool like hipster style mini, like a mini speaker, just enough volume. Where you can be like, when people can hear you a little. I don't know if that could be too disturbing of the whole thing, but
your table, the people next to you might hate you.
Yeah.
Unless you work with them and you shout them out every couple.
Yeah, that's true.
Right.
Next to them, you gotta work on both sides of whoever on both sides of you.
You got enough business cards so that we can hand that stuff out like candy to all the people at your table?
Oh, good point.
That's the big one. They're gonna ask for business cards.
Anybody passing by.
Yeah,
check out the show. Check out the show.
Yeah. You got the show ones. And you got
we should do that
too.
I've got a good stack, but we maybe should get some.
Or Carlos, you had some. I don't know if you still have that stack that you
got stickers.
The stickers, yeah.
Oh,
the
there you go.
With the website.
We got stickers.
We got magnets. We got
the magnets.
We got all sorts of stuffs.
Yeah, we do.
Yeah.
I forgot the magnets are the good one. I love those.
Let's get back to Certifiable Studio.
There it is.
Okay. You guys have been friends. You guys went to school together. You guys are now going to Comic-Cons or conferences together.
Mm-hmm.
You guys work together. You guys are creating things together, and you guys also have been doing a lot of video stuff together.
Yes. The other owner of Certifiable, Rick Moore, Jesse's business partner, also owns a sister company literally next door. They're an ad agency. So he has a lot of, through them, experience in the video industry. He's been in the video industry for a long time now. So it's the same story of bringing past experiences to help further the present cause. So he has a lot of access to, high-end video equipment. He has a lot of years of experience in that, and we also now have a video guy that works with us now. So we also have that on top of everything. So while we're doing our thing, we're getting a little bit of a leg up and have nicer access to better videos. We got a little more professional level videos, and not because we do them, Jesse and I and the other artists, but because we have people that know how to do it,
right? And
we get to benefit from that. So yeah, that is a little bit of a nicer thing we have, because all the fans that we have been gathering from the Kickstarters that's one of the things they love is the video quality we get to do, like the whole Netflix thing you saw. That's kind of the intro. That's kind of the setup that we have for every update now. Is it's treated almost like a Brady Bunch episode series. It starts with the company logo and then the title of the update, and then we've actually commissioned from our music writer. We've commissioned an actual, what do you call it, like a sitcom soundtrack. You have your short, your things that you can edit together. You have your theme that is in the sad mode or the happy mode, and so that way we can basically plan out a whole update video to look like an episode. So we have the fun, trying to put a fun vibe and spin on all the video. So,
and I think that's what's so cool about you guys is you guys think about these projects more than just a project. This is more than just a game. You guys are using the game to build an audience, and the audience to then get the game, which then opens the door to you guys being able to create more games.
Yeah, because what it all comes down to is just it's perception. You gotta basically sell the brand. It's like we created a really cool game, but this persona that is Certifiable Studios becomes a little bit more of the thing that needs the upkeeping, because you're bringing in people through these videos and through any of these fun things that we're doing that isn't even related to the board game. So it's a interesting thing where it all feeds into itself kind of situation. Because then the people who buy the board games because they like the board game and met us through that way get to enjoy all the videos as well, which keeps them around. So it's just all about just building that perception and presence online. So that's the big thing, is we're just trying to slowly actually build a decent presence, because that'll get to the point where you're getting spread through word of mouth and all that stuff.
Like wildfire.
Yeah.
I think it's phenomenal. Would you guys ever get into like making video content?
Probably. We've messed around with it. I know Jesse had and still wants to do more of them, but he has the what do we do? The drawing inspiration videos. I don't know if you've seen any of those. Yeah, those were a real big hit in the they were a big hit in the artist community.
Yeah.
So I think that's something that we would like to pursue further. But the thing is the problem is the same thing with any being a generalist is doing those videos actually does take a lot of time.
Yeah.
Even just for him to be in them like that, that's a lot of effort. So it's taking away from other things. So we will probably invest as much as we can without sacrificing the bigger picture.
Sure.
Because we have tons of ideas for other shows to do that will be a little more ongoing. It's just a matter of not enough hours in the day. So we're trying to see when that can happen. We've talked about making puppets and doing stuff like that. All these great ideas, but they again take time to get going.
Yeah.
Right.
But you guys are putting in the legwork now, so it's almost like whatever you guys decide to come up with. Because to me, you guys are like building up the head of Steam almost like a Penny Arcade did, because now they have their online comic, but then they also do that little reality show that they did.
Yeah.
Right.
Which I thought was phenomenal.
Yeah, I love that thing.
What was that called? Strip Search.
Yeah.
Strip Search.
That was awesome.
I thought that was phenomenal. And then I saw a couple of the videos where you guys are playing the card games on the table and stuff like that.
Some live playthroughs.
Yeah. All of that stuff I think is from the outside looking in, it's really cool content. It's very well done, and all I ever do is leave with the man, I want those guys to be my friends feeling.
Yeah. Well, it's right now, I think it's a hard thing. We can't scale easily because it's a matter of manpower. Once things obviously get rolling better and we can scale up, then it's a matter of being able to direct stuff, as opposed to right now we're so involved with everything, we're literally doing it. We're hands on with every aspect. But if we could ever get to the point where we can have teams of people, then we can guide and direct and have our visions enacted out, and we can just control them through other employees who are doing the production work basically.
Yeah.
But right now it's just shortage of manpower and hours.
So then as far as you guys are concerned, what are you guys trying to reach for? Are you guys able to look into the future and say, we want to get into this, and this? Or are you guys right now just trying to be conservative and say, okay, the next step, the next game is going to be this?
Yeah, it's a mixture of both. We're definitely trying to look, obviously, in the future, thinking, of the business further than, tomorrow. But at the same time, we're not trying to overreach. It's let's focus on what's ahead, work a few games into the pipeline so that way the next thing's ready. But at this point, it's let's focus on the next game. If we come up with a cool idea on the way that isn't going to take away too much manpower from something else, then we're always all for it. It awesome. Just it just depends on timing, and we always try to work very efficiently. You know, it's like where can you smartly cut corners? You know, it's like, okay, well, we could do X here, take away from that. You know, it's like we don't have to do everything 3D, or you know, it's like this will make more sense if it's not 3D, because we can't obviously do it all with just one person. So you have to work your pipeline efficiently.
Cool. So let's go ahead and do.
Oh, hold up! I wasn't ready for that.
Boy, if
Oh, you did a quick. Y'all did a quick change.
No. Read the text.
See?
Read the text.
Oh.
Read the chat.
Oh.
All right. Okay. All right. Can't be on.
They call us the fine-tuned machine.
I didn't want to say it.
I can't be on all. I can't be like on all the time. You know, I had 139 good shows in me.
I'm gonna go with Jack.
That right there is coming out of your vacation time. Hey,
We got it.
Anthony Coffey.
Mm-hmm.
This or that?
Coffee.
YouTube or Vimeo?
Ooh.
I just, from personal experience, I would say YouTube. I have both accounts. I don't ever find myself on Vimeo.
Yeah.
So, you know, I just use it. I don't have anything to back it up. I'm just one of those persons that it's like, you want to watch a video? Okay, what are you looking for? Oh, okay, go to YouTube. You know,
Yep.
it's just habit, the way I've always done it. So I have nothing to.
That's it. That's all.
What are y'all stats?
Ooh.
I go, my YouTube is my go-to, but then if I'm looking for something a little more stylized, like usually what I do is I'll go to Vimeo and do a search for 2D animation.
Mm-hmm.
And you end up for some reason, there's more content on YouTube, but better quality on Vimeo.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
You know.
All right, I may have to try more Vimeo searches.
I usually don't go willingly to Vimeo. It's like
It's for a purpose, right?
Yeah, well, something leads me there, like a link or something. But then once I'm on it, I'm like, oh, bam, look at this and look at that,
Yeah.
and look at that, and look at this.
Those editor picks, man.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
M's.
Texas or Mississippi?
Oh God, Texas. There's no hesitation on that one.
Shit all over Mississippi.
It's just not my home state. It just ain't, you can't turn it down. I got my Texas boy.
Click and drag or ink and paint?
What?
Oh, what?
Okay.
Ink and paint?
Computer.
Okay, you didn't have to go that.
That's what I was trying to get to.
We're gonna in that scenario. Then I'm gonna go click and drag.
Attaboy. CTN or PAX?
Ooh.
Oh, I've never been to PAX, so I'm gonna have to go CTN.
Stills or motion?
Motion.
Yeah.
This is going to be another deep one. I know Charlie's going to give me a look.
Uh-oh.
Tabletop or set top? So tabletop games or video games?
What you call it? Set top? Are you talking about TV
I
set?
know, right? Yeah.
What the hell is a set top game?
Set top. Because you can't say there's nothing. It's a tabletop or on top of your TV set.
Are you playing one of those set top games?
Oh my God.
Yo, that could be the
I
title.
knew that was going to happen.
It's because you thought of it and was like, what can I call
Would
it?
you like to draw, click and drag?
Are you doing one of those newfangled click and drags?
Sir, good sir.
It used to be just click when I grew up, but now they have the drag.
It took us
Poor
2 hours to
Carlos.
get Jack. It took us 2 hours to get Jack to say something, and he's
Hey, you're like, I do fancy to set unleash out again every now and again.
See, you caught me off guard with the theme song.
Hey, going in. I'll show you.
We'll go tabletop.
Tabletop. All right.
Just so we can avoid saying set top.
I forgot the question. It's been so long. All right, last one. Last one. Anthony Coffey from Certifiable Studios.
Coffee.
Tea or coffee?
Tea or coffee?
We're gonna go coffee all the way.
Yeah. That was that.
I can't even right now.
Oh, what's going on with my audio? Popping all over the place. What's happening?
You're using up all your audio with that attitude.
Might be.
Bring it back. I love
All right, kids. So, yeah, no, just kidding. That was, you got me. You got one of them newfangled set top.
I want a sound bite
Is that RV?
for next week. I want a sound bite. That's the biggest cat I've ever seen.
Anthony Coffey.
Is that a dog or a cat?
That is a leopard.
That's a grown man cat.
That is our company cat, Beast.
Okay.
How big is Beast?
He's probably close to
20 pounder.
He's close, yeah.
What kind of cat is he?
Puma.
A white cat.
A white cat.
Yeah, he just hangs out at the office all the day. We're up here so much that, he gets more attention than our home pets.
Does he stay at the office?
Yeah. Yeah, because we're up here, on weekends and stuff like that. So I don't think there's a day that goes by that somebody's not up here keeping watch on them.
You have a legit office cat.
Yeah.
Not like an owner cat, like a legit, this is his home.
Yeah.
He knows this. All he knows is production.
He owns this place. Cat hair all over the place.
Yeah. He's there at night, drawing. just get blended like.
Yeah. We need to train him.
He's modeling tender vittles.
Just different type of fish.
He's like, watch me box model this tender vittle.
Tender vittle.
All right, let's get into artist inspiration.
You're the inspiration. You bring feeling to my life. You're the inspiration.
That's good.
This week, y'all, we're gonna meet
Who
Morgan Gill.
Tea Tiger Cafe.
Nice.
Oh, she's in on the mermaid. Okay.
Mermaid.
Getting in on
I
mermaid.
asked you guys if you.
Little ink and paint instead of click and drag.
That's quite nice.
Click and drag on it.
Right. Some marker
Some ink and paint.
What markers does she use? I don't recognize those. Look good.
Crayola. Yeah, so we're gonna get to, here we go.
Ooh.
Gouache.
Morgan be killing these women drawings. And everyone says that to draw a proper woman is hard work. And my girl be killing these lady drawings.
Dang.
So yeah.
With gouache no less.
Gouache, right?
Like that.
Is that hard to use? Have you guys used it before?
She's just got a pile of art.
It's similar to watercolor. It's a little thicker. And,
Is it thicker? I was gonna ask you what's the difference.
She even makes pins.
Those are awesome.
How did she make those? Aren't those like liquid at one point or something?
True Metalworks. There's the link.
Mm.
True Metalworks.
True Metalworks.
That's different, right?
Sketch gun pins. That's what you need.
Oh, they're coming. They are.
Yeah, we got some of those coming too.
Nice.
They're on order.
Very nice. Trying to go follow her.
WonderCon.
Yeah. So yeah, check her out, y'all, because she's just crushing art right now. Look at. even if you're on that side of the line of being a perv, she's got stuff for you. All her stuff is just super solid.
Pin-up stuff. Yeah.
I have to say, I'm surprised she only has that many followers. I figured she'd be blown up.
I bet
she's
on the cusp.
She's got me now, so she's set.
I like that.
She said night sketch, which drives me crazy because when people have sketches like this, it just
that's not a sketch,
right? I just whipped this out. It's just a little doodle.
Nice night piece, yeah.
She said trying to get it back into a routine.
Get him out of here.
I love this iPad.
Trying to get back in the routine.
I skipped my entire color flatting process. I don't
Just shake the dust off, why don't you?
Yeah, I did this whole thing on one layer.
Little rusty.
Artist on Instagram. I'm trying to see what software she used.
That last one was the iPad Pro.
iPad Pro.
Call it Procreate? What are we gonna call it? What is it?
This says iPad Pro. It doesn't say what.
True.
It doesn't.
I'm gonna go Procreate.
Yeah, that would be my.
I'm gonna go.
Yes.
Sketchbook.
No.
Yeah, you can do this in Sketchbook.
Okay.
That's a Cintiq. So she's lying right there.
No, she didn't claim that was iPad. She didn't claim that one was iPad.
Yeah.
She's good.
She did click and drag on this one.
Oh, nice.
So yeah, you guys take a look because she's phenomenal, and it looks like she went to Overwatch League.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah. Instagram.com/TEATIGER Cafe CAFE.
Nice.
There you have it. Get it in your life.
Followed.
Tell her Carlos sent you.
Yeah.
Who wants to go next? Charlington?
Yeah, I'm getting it going. Here we go. Let's go. Boom. Can you see it?
Lord Chris.
Lord Chris. I'm going on Instagram too this week.
Hey, she's got. She is.
Chris.
What'd you say?
She's got pins too, man. That's the thing now.
The pins are a thing. You know who else had pins? Von Art at a thing. He's a big thing on the. He's big on the thing for the cons. I think it's a culture thing. The con thing.
Okay.
Yeah. Get it. Lord Gris. I follow.
Lord Gris.
Her name Griselda.
Lord Chris.
Best nickname ever for Griselda.
Come on and
like turning it into something bad, something badass. Like call yourself Lord Gris and your name's Griselda. She's a Portland-based game asset designer. That's kind of cool. And the Hikikomori Queen, which now we get into some culture. I don't know, but I have to look that up. I don't know what that is, but check out her work. This is one of my favorite ones. This is what I saw at first. It drew me in. So got cool pics and those things in the background. The pins. Look at that. Good with that.
Yeah, she's
Mermaid, or she already had this. I don't think she did this for Mermaid. Look at this Autodesk sketchbook.
Look at
boom.
So this is how I found Lord Gris.
And if you don't know, now you know.
Wait, should we just paint on a sketchbook?
Yeah. Did she take a picture of the sketchbook and paint it there, or did she sketch it, take a picture and color it?
I think she went in. I think she eventually went in. I can go over to the sketchbook because I found her on that community page. She's done some tutorials and stuff like that.
It looks like I don't know what she did.
I don't know here. Maybe it's not. Maybe she's just tagging it because she's been a part of it. I don't know if this one's a sketchbook though, but it's
maybe she's just jumping off it. Yeah, well, it depends because Oh no, she said Autodesk Sketchbook.
Parts of the hand look like it might be really.
She
clean.
does say threw some color over this for funsies with, so probably she drew it in the sketchbook.
Yeah.
Took a picture.
Painted
Because
on
you know one of the cool
She
things
put
that
it
you
back
can
on the
do with
sketchbook.
the sketchbook on the iPad is you can use the camera, take a picture of
it. Yeah.
Right, and then just paint
the
on
color
that.
on top of it. Yeah.
Oh, on top of your picture?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Huh.
Yeah.
Well, that's a cool. That's almost
Or
like
under
a cool
if you
way to do
here's a quick tip. If you took a picture of that and then changed the mode to multiply it, and then if you paint under that layer, then the color will show through because it knocks out the white.
Cool. Yeah. That's kind of a cool thing. You draw your sketch, you frame your photo because you know this is gonna be in gold. This will be a nice painted one, but you frame it really nice, like you do here, so it looks like your sketchbook. But all your stuff is digital. It could be a cool.
That's very cool, but that to me that's almost like she should have scanned it in because now you have a nicer finished drawing of it, and then you could always just impose it on the blank sketchbook if you wanted that look.
Yeah.
You have a more versatile thing you could do with it. Now she's kind of stuck with that picture, and that's it.
Yeah.
All that
Unless she was just trying to show off that she's got a pencil.
There's the black and white.
So she toned it.
Yeah. She's killing it either way.
Nice. Very cool.
I like the Molly Ringwald picture that she has on there.
That one. Yeah,
that's the one.
That one, yeah.
That one came out really nice.
This one's kind of crazy too. Like just the white. I think that's her.
I think Molly Ringwald was on Drop the Mic.
Yeah, it's like celebrity ghostwriter.
And she killed it. And she killed it. It was so good. Oh, look at you with your facial proportions tutorial. Come on.
Boom. Girl. There you go.
But what if I want to draw someone with a big forehead?
I love this one too. It's really cool. Like a Tyra Banks forehead, like
Damn.
Oh, she does have a big ass forehead. That's it.
Oh, this one's like showing like age 12 and age 26. Oh, how we've changed. Love that one.
That's funny.
I like the way she renders.
That's a good pick. I like this one.
Yeah, like this is it's cool. Check her out. Like that one's really cool too.
Damn.
She likes the close shot, the close placements of like she likes painting over it.
I mean, that's a pretty cool, clever way to do it. I mean,
yeah,
you can keep your sketchbook as is, and
she did Danny Mac. She's a fan of Danny Mac. Awesome. Or Danny Mac's a fan of her, I should say, probably, maybe. So yeah, Lord Gris. Follow her on Instagram. Get her in your life. Let's do an overall.
Do it.
Quick scan of all of her stuff. Is there anything else that I missed? Yeah, so she has, and then if you go onto the Sketchbook Pro site, you can follow her there too.
I think it's sketchbook.com.
In the community side of things, almost put Sketchbook Jack. That's another cool guy. Not him. And then under their blog section, and here, there's a bunch of stuff. So I was so surprised to see this much content on a thing with for free, you know?
And you know, another really cool thing that they have is collections of brushes.
Oh, really? Okay, cool.
Yeah, a lot of cool Autodesk Sketchbook Pro brushes that you can download.
So she does a really good job of showing you how to do hair for this one. I think she has a couple different ones. This is the hair one that I saw first. It made me want to go find her art because I thought this picture was cool. But she takes you step by step. You know, check her out. Check all the different artists on this page out and the videos and stuff like that. And obviously download it because no reason not to download it. You know, it's really nice. There's a bunch of different stuff in there. It's cool.
We got a lot of stuff.
Yeah, a lot of stuff here. I was surprised at how much stuff here. You know, this Brett Bean was a good one too. It's a bunch of good stuff. But yeah, Lord Gris, check her out.
I'm a big fan of the Brett Bean one.
Yeah, that's a cool one, right?
Yeah.
Yep, that's it. All you, Jack.
Cool.
All right. So I'm a big fan of sketchbooks and notebooks, as you may know.
Mm-hmm.
Is that why they call you Sketchbook Jack?
Maybe. So this guy, Jose Naranja, he calls himself a maker of books. So he's got all these little sketchbooks.
What is this?
And he just goes to town. Like he's got these, man, like it's just the intensity of these books is just, what are you doing with your life all day?
I'm doing it all wrong.
This is just what you're doing all day, is just drawing in these books. He's making Sudoku puzzles. He's writing stories. He's drawing cars and buildings. He's collecting stamps. He's drawing buildings. He's traveling. He documents his travels. Look, he's got one from like Colombia, California, Caribbean.
Oh, click on the picture, Jack, so get a bigger picture of it.
Yeah, like this is one of his travel ones that he's got all the different places he's been.
He's using the old school calligraphy.
Oh, he not just that, man. He's coming around with some pen and ink. He paints in these.
Oh, I'm doing my life all wrong.
And collecting stamps. He's got, like, get out of here. And look how many he's got. He just made that.
Click on that one. That all his like done books?
No, okay. All right. I was saving this, but since you asked, okay, so he makes all these damn books, like so many of them, just nonstop. Pages, just keep scrolling. There's this book and that book. Okay. But then, he sells these. He makes them, he reproduces them. He binds them himself. And you can get a duplicate copy of these sketchbooks.
Of his sketchbook.
Yeah. And they look just like the original one because he binds them and makes them just look like.
That's like some next level art concept book. I want it.
No, look, real expensive. 285 euros. That's like $500 a piece. Well, like 400.
Maybe I'll buy one day.
$400.
He's like, go full screen with that. Yeah.
I was curious what the end game was when you were showing the page.
That's some unique stuff for your like sketch, for your like collection. I want one, but man.
And I just can't. I mean, going through these is just so much stuff on every page. Like you're never gonna learn.
Like I like I've seen that happen before, where they put the colored stripes on the edges of the corners.
Yeah.
I want this book. I want them to just buy me a book like that with empty. How big is it? It's like wallets, like phone size, like a little bit.
Yeah, that's like sketch wallet size.
They're like the moleskin ones.
Like I love the little coloring in the like. It's like you find this in an old attic or somewhere.
Yeah, but he's got so many. So hang on, I gotta find one more picture before I close out. But
where does he live? Is that go back up? Is that his? Is that all behind him?
No, he's at a bookstore.
Okay.
No, but hang on, he's got. Oh, where did I see that? The vault. He's got a vault. He has like a little fire. He has like a little fireproof vault box that he keeps these things in, which I understand why, because Lord knows how much time is put into one of these.
How much is
but just look at it's. He's like reproducing dollar bill drawings all over here.
Yeah, damn.
Like, get out! What are you doing all day? Just all day.
He's about to go to jail for a counterfeit.
What is his day job?
You were like the end game for this, right? Like where? But like now, if you think about it, he did one and was like, you know what I could do? I could sell this.
Well, that's one of the first. That's one of the first things I did. I went all the way to the bottom of his Instagram feed to see what he started at, and he was posting like weird, pictures of food and nothing. And then there was like a couple of pages from a book, and then all of a sudden it was like, bam! Look at all these things. And he just like found this obsession.
So then, if you think about it,
nonstop, it's just like God.
It feeds his obsession now. If he makes a new book and starts a new one. He's like, I'm gonna go tropical this one. I need to go to Rio. I need to go there. Like you can build your life around. Like,
I think he does. I think he travels. He records it. I mean, I don't know what he does as a day job.
That's so cool. He's like, you know what? This is gonna be a Tokyo theme.
Oh, there.
Going to Asia.
So he keeps them in this like fireproof box.
Come on, son.
Dang.
I wonder how much he would sell the original for. He probably wouldn't because he's just an artist and they can't take the original. But still, I would want to look through the original.
If he's selling the copies for €285, I can't imagine.
Yeah.
He probably can't put a price on that. Right.
Yeah.
Too many hours.
So yeah, man. Check this guy out.
A movie.
If you can afford a book, I would suggest it's probably an amazing little thing to just browse through. This is Jose Naranja.
Jose, I want to talk to you. Do you speak
I'm gonna reach out to him. He doesn't have that many followers, surprisingly.
No one knows about this amazingness.
I'm gonna reach out, see if we can get him on.
He doesn't have that many, only 176.
Well, okay, no, I mean that's a lot of people.
Okay.
No, that's a lot of people. I just, for some reason, maybe I'm just, I don't know. I would have thought.
I feel like
not as much as you thought.
He should be like a cool 1.5 or something.
Yeah, this is like the most interesting man in the world type of shit. Like, who is this guy? I'm like, why are people not?
Jack just killed the inspiration this week. This is new.
It's like really neurotic and like
yeah, right.
But that's why I like it. It's so specific. It's so
intense.
Well, what do you do when you're writing something like in all those little areas? And what do you do when you mess something up?
I don't know. Like, what is he doing exactly? Like, you never want to mess up.
Legit manifestos, guys.
But he's like writing about mushrooms over here, but then he's got.
But it says lesson learned. Like,
it's almost he's writing some travel thing. Like, these are the ones okay to eat. These are the ones not. They'll kill you.
This is the drawing I made.
It's literally like those weird little like. It's like an Indiana Jones notebook.
Yeah, that's what it feels like. Something from a movie.
Yeah.
Like, I feel like if something happens and like his kids or somebody goes through the very first book, it's like a riddle, right?
Yeah.
Right? He's hidden the secret something to the treasure.
There's like money or something, riches, like like if he goes through all his books, that's like even 5 of these things would be a lot to look through. Look, he has a periodic table.
I know, look at
it's a periodic table for no reason.
Like, why are you doing that? All right, get out of here.
Yeah.
There is a quote that I'm going to use that I read recently, and it relates to this a little bit. Where is it? Let me find it. Hold on, because like something like the periodic table is not used for art, but like where is it? Let me find it. Hold on.
He just sits at a coffee shop all day long and just
sits on the beach. That's the best looking coffee shop.
Right.
He's in Isle of Scilly in the UK.
Jeez.
So anyway, check him out.
That's a great.
Do yourself a favor and just
get it in your life.
Get it in your life. If I can't afford this book, but I'm just thankfully he puts a lot of it in euros.
Yeah.
Oh.
So you're looking at like 400 some bucks. Yeah. Yeah. All right, guys, that was mine.
I'd get killed if I spent $400 on them. I don't even know if I'd be able to do a podcast anymore after that. I wouldn't be here. You spent what? It's cool. And I'm not done reading all of it. I'm on page 10.
I'm learning about mushrooms.
Don't eat that one. So lesson learned.
Anthony, do you have anyone that you'd like to show off?
Sure. Do you want me to share it in the chat, or you want me to do the screen?
On the screen is cool.
All right.
Top left, green.
Yeah. So I like, Eduardo Vieira. I don't know if any of y'all have heard of him.
Yes.
Yep.
We're getting him on the show. We're getting him on the show, actually.
I just love his process and the way he just handles certain things. I'm like, what? Just his colors, and his shapes,
Crazy.
everything's just got so much energy.
So when I first started doing these like mobster things, I don't know if he was just starting out or fresh out of school or what he was, but he followed me and he commented on one of my things, and then I looked at his stuff and I was like, oh, that's pretty good, I'm gonna follow him back. And then no joke, within like 2 months, this guy's skills just like exploded and like far surpassed me, and was like he just like went like Super Saiyan all of a sudden. It was just like, okay, well, I guess you're gonna be famous.
He's like, YouTube works.
Yeah, it's just got so much style to his stuff.
So good.
I love kid drawing. That's funny.
So real quick, now that we're looking at him, Anthony, when you're starting to draw something, do you have it in your mind and you're just putting it on paper, or do you have to like scribble around and investigate and you figure out?
I have a basic idea what I'm going for, and anything after that is literally kind of just, it's kind of like you're evolving it as you go. It's like as I know what I'm going for, and as I start getting the shapes, if certain things, you know, it's like a sculpture. You're editing it as you go kind of situation. You know what you want, but then you also know the rules and stuff to make things look better, and you try to help to get what you're trying to go for. So it's not a one-to-one picture, at least not in my head.
Yeah.
Yeah, so I mean, I just love his stuff. He hasn't posted any pictures of it, but this he's been doing a lot of live videos of the over the garden wall image he's been working on, and just getting to see his process is just unreal.
Man.
Oh yeah, so he's obviously, I'm sure if y'all aren't following him, anybody else, this is definitely a guy to follow.
Definitely. Dude is bananas.
Yeah. Oh, there's another one real quick. Justin Chan. He didn't have all art, but when he does post his art stuff, I mean, I just love this guy's style.
Oh, that looks cool. Yeah, I like that.
Like there's this, let's see, there's this one. I mean, all of these are just so much atmosphere to the lighting and his posing. It's really awesome. I like this one.
His
This one's
name
really
is
good.
Justin Chan.
Yeah, Justin Chan's. It's so good. So much character. And this is one of the guys that I look at and I'm like, why do you not have more followers?
Yeah.
Just such good stuff.
Yeah, some of that lighting that he has in there is crazy.
Yeah. So good.
That was Instagram.com/Justin Chans, CHANS. And now Charlie's gone, and
I know we
Jack
lost.
is gone.
I'm here. We're all here.
Cool. So, hey, Anthony, if people want to find out more about you and check out your artwork and follow up with what you're doing, where can they find you?
The best place is Instagram. So Anthony Scott Coffey on Instagram, and then one T. Yes, 1T. And then the other place would probably be best would be Certifiable Facebook page. Certifiable Studios. Because anything I post on Facebook is usually just the same from Instagram, since it lets you multi-post. So I just usually do that.
I wanted to show one last thing, just to prove my story.
It happened.
That's it, y'all. That's it. The day I met the crew.
That's right. The beginning.
Nice.
So yeah, it was awesome. And again, it's one of those things where you see someone whose art is as good as you, and then you're friendly and you're cool. It makes me that much more of a fan.
Yeah. Well, you say that, but do you meet a lot of guys that aren't cool?
Yeah.
You'd be surprised.
Oh, that sucks.
You'd be surprised.
Wow.
Yeah. Anyway, hey Charlie,
What
if
up?
people are looking for you online, where can they find you?
Find me a couple different places. You can find me at my website, carboncollector.com/CharlieB Looks. You can find me on Twitter, CBW3, Instagram, CharlieBW3. Or no, actually just Charlie B. Twitter, CharlieBW3. And that almighty Pinterest. Check that out too, CharlieBW3. Get it in your life.
Excellent. Thank you, sir. Hey, Jack.
Yep, I am at. Sorry.
I was just going to say, how about you?
I'm at sketchbookjack.com, and sketchbookjack on Instagram is mainly where I hang out. Twitter no longer exists. Facebook might be next. Disappearing. Like back to the old days.
Back before we had books of faces.
You can look me up in the registrar's office.
I'm right there on the set top.
I don't even understand what's happening right now.
It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter.
Oh, hey, I'm Carlos Gomez. You can find me at carlosrgomez.com or coconutjustice.com or Coconut Justice on Twitter, Facebook, Instagram, Pinterest, Behance, Twitch, all that stuff. This is Sketch Zone Podcast. You can find us at sketch.zone. This is episode 140.
Bam!
Yeah.
And yeah, we got a lot of really cool other things that are happening too. So please check in with us. We're on Facebook. We're on Instagram, obviously. And if you're on Instagram, please remember a toad bank teller playing hula-hoop uplifted. An uplifted toad bank teller playing the hula-hoop. And then when you post that on Instagram, please tag us. Go into the section that says tag someone. I forget what the button is called, but tag people. Make sure that you tag us, because if you just do the @sketch zone, it gets lost in the whole feed and it's not cool. But people like Shiloh, who is fantastic, he'll actually forward some to me when he sees that they're not tagged. So thank you for that, Shiloh. Let's see. Obviously, if you're watching on YouTube, you know that we're here almost every week. Go ahead and subscribe. If you're on Twitch, subscribe button is up on top. Go ahead and do that. And if you want to catch us when we're not live, we are on Stitcher, SoundCloud, Google Play Music, iTunes. That is it for us, everyone. Have a wonderful week.
Thanks, y'all.
See you guys.
Awesome.